in Minneapolis. Now you can book nonstop flights from Pierre to Minneapolis and Denver on Denver Air Connection. 1-hour flights on 50 passengers. Starting at just $119 one way. Seats are limited and restrictions apply. Business, pleasure, a game, a winter getaway. It's easy when you fly from Pierre. Visit DenverAirConnection.com/Expedia to book your trip today. Skip the drive. Fly from Pierre Regional Airport. Minneapolis flights begin November 30th.
At Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore, they've been building partnerships for life by treating customers right, offering a low-pressure sales process, no haggling over price, passing low overhead savings on, and providing a Ford-certified service department fixing it right the very first time. If you're looking for a new Ford, a quality pre-owned vehicle, a new or used ATV, or a trailer, stop by Jan Bussey Ford & Highmore and experience the difference.
Jan Bussey Ford, building partnerships for life.
The official voice of the Pierre Governors, DRG Media Group.
Pierre Governor Wrestling on River 92.7 is brought to you by...
The DRG Media Group, the voice of Pierre Governor Sports. Pierre Governor Soccer is proudly presented by Bank West, Beck Motors, Dakota Storm, Kruger Contracting, Live Ticket, Overhead Door, Ranky Gray Wealth Management, Avera Orthopedics, Capital City Motors, Century Business Products, Superior Concrete, Brittany Scheffelbein Agency LLC, All Around Graphics, American Bank and Trust, Anderson Rumpke Dental, Black Hills Federal Credit Union, Capital City Campus, Cafe Sun and Shine Properties, Coca-Cola, Comtech, Delta Dental, First Dakota National Bank, Floss Dentistry, Guadalajara, Eisberg Funeral Home, James River Broadcasting and DRG Media Group, Maher Law Office, Midco, Ollinger Law Firm, Pierre Chamber of Commerce, Pierre Dental Clinic, Pitts Design and Build, Red Rosa, the South Dakota National Guard, Stulken Peterson Lingle Walti and Jones LLP, and Wegner Auto. And now live coverage of Pierre Governor Soccer.
Well, a very good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Obviously, soccer season is over. We'll get that fixed and get a new billboard going for us here. But we are starting the winter sports season here tonight, and we welcome you to Riggs High Gym, where we get set for Governor Wrestling tonight. We've got the Governor boys and girls on the mats tonight as they welcome in two teams from the ESD, the new team, the T-Area Titans, who have moved up to AA in most sports, and in football, or I should say in basketball and volleyball. They've moved into the ESD conference. The old ESD member is the Brookings Bobcats. They'll be here tonight. We're playing a triangular, so to speak. And what's going to happen tonight is the Pierre Governors will take on the T-Area Titans first. Then it'll be Brookings and T-Area wrestling each other here at Riggs High Gym. The Governors will take a break, and then later on it'll be Pierre against Brookings in the final duel of tonight. We'll be covering the two Pierre matches, so we'll give you coverage of Pierre and T-Area, boys and girls together, and really going on at the same time. It might pose a challenge, but we'll get through that. And then we'll take a break on River 92.7. We'll go back to regular programming, give you some music in between, although our live stream with Live Ticket and Caleb Brozick, who is on camera tonight, will be running Brookings and T-Area, so you'll still be able to watch that match at drgnews.com and the River 92.7 page, and then we'll be back again for Brookings and Pierre later on tonight. It'll all sort itself out as we continue. With William Wilson in studio, I'm Brian Oakland, as we bring you Pierre Governor Wrestling on your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com. Plenty to talk about coming up, and all of these teams, all of the wrestlers, they've had a little bit of action so far, even though we are just underway into the wrestling season. Last week, the Governors girls went to Watertown on Friday and fared quite well. We'll talk about their successes, and also the Governor boys who went to Mandan to open their tournament, as they've been doing for a number of years running now as well. T-Area's had a number of duels under their belt so far. Brookings went to a tournament at Wahpeton North Dakota. And we'll talk about that when we get to the Brookings duel a little bit later on. But plenty to talk about, as mentioned, in our Bank West pregame show. We'll start with a 3-minute timeout, come back and see what's happened for the Governors and for the T-Area Titans. Coming up, we've got a conversation with girls head coach Matt Thorson of the Pierre Governors in just a little while with Keys to Success. We'll hear from Sean Lewis later on in the evening, but we will not hear from the coach before this T-Area match. Maybe we can get him in between duels a little bit later on for Keys to Success. Starting lineups and more, all coming up as part of your Bank West pregame show. And we're back. In 3 minutes, we bring you coverage of Pierre Governor Wrestling starting the winter sports season on River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, Bank West has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. Bank West Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose Bank West. Bank West. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it in time for this game. See live and archive video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota High School Sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play.
At American Family Insurance, we help protect what you've achieved so you can fearlessly go after your dreams. For auto, home, business, and life, contact us today. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance, Life Mutual, Standard of Ohio and Wisconsin Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
Call the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC, with offices in Pierre, Oneida, and Gettysburg.
Century Business Products is a proud supporter of South Dakota High School athletics and proud to provide the most reliable Kyocera copiers and printers to schools and businesses in the area, all backed by their 5-time nationally awarded Kyocera servicing team. Are you looking to control color cost? Looking to reduce printers? Are you looking for more efficient ways to scan documents? Or maybe you'd like to become more paperless? Look no further than Century Business Products. Call 800-529-1950 and see how they're powering business technology.
Do you dream of a custom home built within your budget and done on time? Kruger Contracting can make that dream a reality. They're a trusted home builder since 2003, and they're going to be upfront and open about cost and transparent about where your money is going when it comes to your new home. Their skilled crew will manage construction of your new home from start to finish. They're located in Pierre and can build your home in Pierre, Fort Pierre, or the surrounding area. Call 605-222-2523. Visit KrugerContracting.com or find Kruger Contracting on Facebook.
Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre is here for you. When you're looking for a new vehicle, they make it easy. And all available vehicle information so you can spend less time researching and more time enjoying your purchase. Shop their extensive inventory from home at CapitalCityFordToyota.com or stop in to Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota at 518 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Count on them for your service needs with convenient scheduling and in-stock parts. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre, 605-224-7378.
Back at Riggs High Gym as we get going. This is a busy weekend of high school sports at the gym here at Riggs. We've got wrestling tonight and 3 duels going on. Part of this triangular as we're getting set to bring to you, and it is the opening weekend of the high school basketball season as well. The Governor boys will start with boys basketball games at home against Rapid City Stevens tomorrow night and against Rapid City Central on Saturday afternoon, while the Governor girls will be on the road. Girls games will be on KGFX. The Governor boys games will be here on River 92.7. Brian Oakland with you, and for all of those who are taking to the road this weekend or anytime, especially leading into the holiday season, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds us all to remember to slow down, stay alert, don't veer for deer, and make sure you're buckling up every trip, every time from the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety. As we get into our Bank West pregame show, let's take a look at what happened over this past weekend for the Governor girls. They went up to Watertown and And, the Governor girls have been the only state champion in girls wrestling that South Dakota has ever known in its first 4 years of existence, and they're off to a pretty good start. Once again, Governors lose 3 seniors from last season, but they now are still filling just about every weight class. They filled 11 of 12, and if you have followed Governor, or if you followed girls wrestling, you know that there have been 10 weight classes to this point. Now they've, the sport has grown so much, they've added a couple more weight classes. Now there are 12 overall, and the Governors, with 11 wrestlers taking to Watertown, did beat Canton by about 15 points, 205 for Pierre and 190 points for Canton. Of course, Canton has been the closest rival to the successes that Pierre has had so far this season since girls wrestling started in South Dakota. Aberdeen Central at 129.5 points, well behind in third place. Watertown with 102 in their own tournament. Good to see Miller Highmore Herald with a good showing, 87.5 points in fifth place in that tournament. Brookings, who we'll see here tonight, scored 59 points in that tournament. T area did not compete in that tournament on Friday, but they were in Watertown for a duel tournament on Saturday. T area's girls have had 4 duels so far. Haven't been able to get a whole lot of matches in necessarily in each one of these duels, but they have been fairly even as they have dueled both Mitchell and Chamberlain in a season opening triangular, and then they actually, the boys went to Watertown for the dual tournament. The girls did not on Saturday, but then the T area girls faced O'Gorman and trying to remember who else it was the other night, but it was. Let's get our notes right here, Brian. Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and O'Gorman, and maybe 4 matches each, and they seem to have gone pretty even. I think they had the upper hand against Chamberlain in the opening duel of the season, but all in all, pretty even for T area against Mitchell and Roosevelt and O'Gorman in their other duels. But again, for the Govs who won that Watertown event, the team results had Pierre placing. We're talking about the girls once again. They had 4 tournament champions in Danny Ringstmeyer, Lexi Hillmore, Kesri Benning, and Ireland Templeton. 3 more were runners-up: Shaylee Speck, Gemma Stanglin, and Abby Lewis. And obviously the Governors are off to a pretty good start. And we'll talk with Coach Coach Matt Thorson about that a little bit later on. As we take a look at what happened in boys wrestling, the Governors went up to Mandan, and something we'll have to get used to, I think, is it is going to be, I don't know if it's necessarily a rebuilding year. It's going to be a retooling year for the Governors, though, and they're going to be bringing in some youth, as Pierre will lose 5 seniors who were very significant in scoring points at the state tournament, including 3 state champions from a year ago. So there are shoes to fill. There are holes to fill for the Governor boys. They did score 195 points, good for 6th place. Sturgis was well out in front at 345 in winning the Mandan Lions tournament. Bismarck in 2nd place. Then Rapid City Stevens scored 229. Bismarck Century and Bismarck Legacy also finishing 4th and 5th ahead of Pierre with their 195-point total for the Governors. As with that 6th place finish out of 13 teams, well, I didn't say, I guess, what they had hot top finishes, but Gable Urig placed pretty high. Alex Odekoven and E.J. Bucci all 2nd or 3rd place finishers for the Governors. Those are going to be the ones to watch, but there's going to be kind of a work in progress coming here for the Govs. And we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Sean Lewis about that a little bit later on this evening. Going to help, we'll get a chance to talk to former head coach Ryan Noyes, who is going to help us out on the broadcast here in just a little bit tonight as well. And maybe he'll give us an idea of what we can expect in Governor Wrestling this season to come as well. Let's take another 3-minute break and get into Keys to Success. Keys are brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care, and we'll talk with head coach Matt Thorson of the Pierre Governor girls when we come back. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling, your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, Bank West has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. Bank West Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose Bank West. Bank West. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to dakotastормroofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
This winter, the game is on, and Beck Motor Company is proud to support Pierre Governor basketball. Whether it's on the court or the open road, we're here to keep you moving forward with reliable vehicles for every drive. When you're ready to upgrade your ride this season, come see us at Beck Motor Company. From SUVs to trucks, we've got the perfect vehicle for your winter adventures. Visit Beck Motor Company for all your automotive needs. Beck Motor Company, making a great deal better. 605-224-5912. BeckMotors.com.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season, and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications, as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? Live Ticket TV has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as a basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 an hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 3. That's 833-605-5483, extension 3, and punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors can give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
All right, keys to success in the first duel of the year for the Pierre Governor girls wrestling team. We're with head coach Matt Thorson about how things went in Watertown to start the season Friday. Coach, you got a pretty good group of girls back. You lose 3 seniors from a year ago, and every one of them obviously was at the state tournament. But with a tournament win to start the season, you know, I think folks from Pierre can see it. Folks from around South Dakota can see that the Governor girls team is still real strong.
Yeah, like you said, we graduated a couple of girls that, contributed a lot to the team and to the program. So replacing them is always difficult. But, we had some young girls step up, and we'll continue to have young girls step up, as well as, like you said, the group of returning girls that we've had from last year and a year ago. Kind of hit the ground running in Watertown, and it's fun to see those younger girls get some experience and get on the mat and really just compete hard. So off to a good start.
Right off the bat, it was Canton, who's always been your closest rival, I suppose, and they were your closest rival that day. How do you see the early rivalry this year between Pierre and Canton?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great program, and they're obviously have a lot of success, girls and boys wrestling. So we usually don't see them until after the New Year's. So seeing them early was different, but it's, we get pretty comfortable seeing them just about every week during the second half of the season. So great coaches, great girls. And you can already kind of see the writing on the wall that it's going to be a fun year competing against them, as well as some other schools that have a lot of numbers. So it's good to see the sports continuing to grow with other schools, but the horses are still horses, and it'll be a fun ride.
It continues to grow so much that you've added that girls wrestling has 2 more weight classes this year. And you and I are talking also about how many more kids are coming out. And now you've got, you actually have some pretty good depth at all 12 weight classes.
Yeah, yep. Like I said earlier, we're right around, 30 to 35 girls in the wrestling room right now. And for the first time, we have, backups, JV at just about all the weight classes, which is really good to see. A lot of them are young girls, but still, they're able to get some good experience at the high school level with varsity girls, and that's only going to help them as they get older. So being able to bring some of these girls to these varsity tournaments now that they're 7th and 8th graders, it really helps build kind of the camaraderie within the girls and helps build their confidence at an early age.
You're facing T Area and Brookings tonight, and a couple of teams that aren't going to fill all of their weight classes. That's got to be something that you kind of still look forward to down the road as to when's the day going to come when you can go 10 on 10 or 12 on 10 or something like that, 12 on 12. But some pretty good talent with these two teams coming here tonight.
Yeah, and like you said, it's as much as it is a team sport. We tell these girls, like, it doesn't matter who steps across from you, whether there's somebody for you to wrestle or not. It's get ready to compete, expect to have a match, and if they bring somebody that wants to step on the mat with you, it will show them, this is our place. We're going to wrestle hard. We're going to compete, and regardless of the fact that who we're wrestling. We go out there and wrestle hard.
All right. And of course, we ask always keys to success and just each time. But I think in this case, I can ask the keys to success early in the season if you're just still trying to get in shape a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It is a big key with regardless of, like I said, who we're wrestling. It's more of a matter of, not creating bad habits. It's about getting into those good habits early, because even if it's new to you, it's start those good habits now. And by the time February and March comes around, hopefully those good habits that you've started early are more cemented, and you feel comfortable hitting that one move or hitting those moves that originally or even right now don't feel comfortable. Keep hitting them, and by the time the season comes around, it feels just second nature to you, and that's when it matters.
All right, Coach. Good look forward to it. Good luck tonight.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That's Matt Thorson, the head coach of the Pierre Governor girls, the state champion Pierre Governor girls wrestling squad, as well as Keys to Success are sponsored by the folks at Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. We'll take a break. We'll hear from them, and we'll come back and chat about boys' Keys to Success with more as we continue. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling.
Did you know 16 million Americans suffer from dry eye? Hi, this is Dr. Nick Marso of Central Dakota Eye Care. Along with providing comprehensive eye exams evaluating vision and health of your eyes, we now offer IPL dry eye treatments. OptiLight IPL is a new innovative light therapy treatment for dry eye and is FDA approved. Also available at our clinic are dry eye products and supplements. Call us today, 224-6128 for more information and to schedule an appointment. Central Dakota Eye Care, 640 East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Better vision for a great life.
Once again, back at Riggs High Gym, talking keys to success. We did talk to Matt Thorson of the Governor girls, but we did not have a chance to talk with head coach Sean Lewis of the Governor boys. He had to head up to weigh-ins about that time, but we do have somebody who knows a little bit about Governor wrestling, former head coach Ryan Noyes, who will help us out on the broadcast tonight. Coach, it's good to see you again. First of all, thanks for coming up. And, let's start with keys to success and recapping what we saw from the Govs in Mandan over the weekend. And one of my first comments tonight was I think people are going to have to get used to the fact that there aren't the number of horses this year, apparently, for Governor boys to start the season as what we've become accustomed to. The team that finished second to the Sturgis Scoopers in the state tournament looks a little bit different this year, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're definitely in a rebuilding year. But with that said, these young kids have a ton of success. I mean, they've been wrestling since they were, some of them, 5 and 6 years old. So they're not exactly new to the sport, but what they're new to is the strength of high school kids. So, it's early on. It's definitely just getting a feel for the strength, the quickness of a match, and maybe a little bit of the strategizing. But for the most part, it's just getting some mat time.
Yeah, so you said rebuilding. I didn't want to say that word. I was saying more retooling, but obviously a work in progress. And, it's going to be a little bit raw of a project early on, but hopefully by midseason and certainly come February, we'll be seeing a pretty salty team.
Yeah, and, and the other thing with these young kids is learning that they need to be a student of the game. They need to know who's in their weight class, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and learning that too. It's not just going out and competing, but it's knowing your opponents as well.
So for those who competed in Mandan, there might be a couple of others who get a chance to get on the mat here tonight. But we're starting off against the Governors taking on a T area team, boys-wise, that is like Pierre, filling all weight classes. Brookings won't have that luxury necessarily, but T area is a team that's they've certainly made noise in February at the state tournaments the last several years, and right off the bat here, first duel of the year, it's going to be a lot of fun. There should be.
It is, and I don't know as much about the teams as I used to, but just glancing here at T's lineup, they've got a lot of names that are traditional South Dakota wrestling powerhouse names. So it's going to be interesting. And they're young, 9th, 8th grade, it looks like, and some of them. But the Woodring kid, the junior, he's one of the best in the state, if not the best.
Yeah, and one name we don't see is Sam Wardell, who would be at about 175 pounds. Don't know if he's injured. We'll assume that may be the case. Of course, these guys are coming off a football season and going right into wrestling season. Coach Thorson and I talked about keys to success in what he said didn't necessarily apply to the girls for tonight, but what they didn't want, or what they really wanted to avoid, was getting into some bad habits early in the season. And I think for the inexperienced Governor wrestlers, for the boys, that could hold true as well.
Certainly. I mean, so much about this sport is just sticking to the basics. It may not be as fun or flashy, at times, but the basics win. And it's been proven year after year after year. And, for me, that's what our kids need to do tonight, going out, wrestling, especially early in the season, is just stick to the basics and be patient.
All right, there you go. Keys to success with the help of Ryan Noyes here tonight, brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. Let's try to sneak in a 3-minute break, and we'll come back with starting lineups for the boys and the girls. It's Pierre against T area, and the first of our couple of duels that we'll have here tonight on River 92.7, and again live streaming with Live Ticket and their help on drgnews.com.
This is Coach Scott Nye from your Pierre Governors and the team at Ranky Gray Wealth Management, where we focus on coaching something just as important, your finances. Everyone needs guidance through life's key financial decisions and challenges, not to mention the opportunity to feel confident that their retirement strategy will help them pursue the lifestyle they've dreamed about. As you're looking for the right team to assist you, we're right up the street and ready to provide you the help that can make all the difference. Contact our Pierre office today by visiting rankygray.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Justin Cowart, the host of the Players Perspective podcast, and this week we had Wesley Whitler and Gavin Colson, the state champions from the Sully Buttes Chargers, in studio. We talked about the dream season that led them all the way to the Dakota Dome and what it felt like to raise the state championship trophy. Then next week, we've got head coach of the Pierre Governor football team, Steve Steele, to talk about his run to the Dakota Dome and all the success he's had in previous seasons. You can hear it only on Players Perspective, sponsored by Avera. This winter, the game is on, and Beck Motor Company is proud to support Pierre Governor basketball. Whether it's on the court or the open road, we're here to keep you moving forward with reliable vehicles for every drive. When you're ready to upgrade your ride this season, come see us at Beck Motor Company. From SUVs to trucks, we've got the perfect vehicle for your winter adventures. Visit Beck Motor Company for all your automotive needs. Beck Motor Company, making a great deal better. 605-224-5912. BeckMotors.com.
Dakota Storm Roofing is a locally owned roofing company in Pierre, specializing in both residential and commercial roofing services. They can handle your asphalt shingle, metal roofing, and flat roof needs. New construction, plus all types of roof repairs. They can handle the finishing touches, adding fascia, soffit, and gutters too. No job is too big or too small. For a free estimate, call Dakota Storm Roofing at 280-9794. Go to dakotastormroofing.com or find them on Facebook or Instagram.
Superior Concrete is proud to sponsor the Governors this season, and just as proud to offer the finest concrete solutions available for commercial and residential applications, as well as foundation and flat work. The bottom line, if you need anything done with concrete, we can do it. Superior Concrete. Give us a call today for an estimate or more information. That's Superior Concrete. Find us on Facebook or call the office at 605-494-0102. That's 494-0102. Call today.
Do you love watching high school sports but find yourself wanting to be more involved? Live Ticket TV has the solution for you. They're looking for production managers to assist for this school year. Duties include the management of equipment as well as a basic technological understanding. But don't stress, paid training will be provided. Part-time wages starting at $20 an hour. Call 833-605-LIVE, extension 3. That's 833-605-5483, extension 3, and punch your ticket to joining one of the fastest growing companies in South Dakota.
Back at Riggs High Gym as they've dimmed the lights and final warm-ups going on the mats. We've got starting lineups to bring to you. Starters are brought to you by Envirotech. And as you get set to watch this one, drgnews.com, the River 92.7 page. You can also see it on your DRG News smartphone app. Or if you happen to be watching on gogovs.live, you'll notice two mats, and we're going to have both of them in use at the same time. You'll see the black mat with the gray circle and a big green letter P in the middle of it to your left. The black mat with the green circle and the black letter P upside down to your vantage point will be to your right. That's where the boys will be. The girls will be on mat 1. The boys will be on mat 1 to your right. The girls will be on mat 2 to your left. When the girls' matches are done, they'll wrestle JV matches, and we'll focus more on the boys' varsity match at that point in time. But here's the starting lineups from Envirotech for Pierre and T Area coming up. And T Area is going to bring, it looks like 6 wrestlers out of 12 weight classes. We'll start at 107 pounds. Emily Volker, an 8th grader for T Area, will wrestle 7th grader Lane Heasley for the Pierre Governors. Up to 120 pounds, freshman Bailey Miller for T Area takes on 7th grader Jersey Lewis for the Pierre Governors. At 126, Lilia Matthews is a sophomore for the Titans. She will take on Danny Rinksmeyer, the senior for the Governors. At 132 pounds, Lainey Haynes goes for T Area. She's a freshman. She'll take on fellow freshman Lexi Hilmer of the Governors. Kesri Benning wrestles for Pierre at 138, then against Isabella Preheim, the freshman from T Area. Then after a few open weight classes, we'll go to 185 pounds. Sydney Brown, a sophomore for T Area, will take on senior Cayenne Traversy Johnson of the Pierre Governors. So those are the 6 matches we expect to have on the girls' mat here to start our evening's festivities. And then for the boys, both teams we expect to fill all weight classes, but we will see how things go. Now, we're looking at trackwrestling.com. It's got a little bit different of a lineup than what we were given, even from Sean Lewis and the Pierre Governors. But I'm kind of thinking, I'm a little torn as to which one I want to give you, but let's go with the one that we have on trackwrestling.com, and then we'll adjust as we need to going forward. So starting at 106 pounds, Daniel Mason, an 8th grader for Pierre, will step in and take that spot. He'll take on Drake Mitchell, a JV 106-pounder from T Area. So both of those kids are JV, but appear to be ready to wrestle tonight. Gable Urig, the 106-pounder to start the season for the Governors, is going to move up to 113, and he'll take on 8th grader Henry Fortin. Urig, by the way, if you'll recall, went to a runner-up finish at the state tournament a year ago. At 120 pounds, new wrestler in the varsity ranks for Pierre is Bodie Minder. He'll take on Slater Wilson of T Area. Walker West we'll see for the Governors at 126. He takes on a real good one in Tyler Woodring of the T Area Titans, a solid junior for T Area. Pierre has a solid junior at 132 themselves, Alex Odekoven. He'll take on Brody Lee for T Area. Then at 138, it's Jeremiah Wirtz going against Dalton Cooper for the Titans. At 144 pounds for the Governors, it's Talon Lightfield. He'll take on Hayden Hustetler from T Area. Max Hunsley wrestles for Pierre at 150. The junior against Trevin Otis of T Area. Porter Hunsley, the freshman, goes at 157 for Pierre against Trevor Cordell of T Area. Then at 165, Aiden Van Balen wrestles for Pierre against Bo Wardell for the Titans. And at 175, Will Eilers for the Governors against Jeremiah Wilgers of T Area. 190, it is Sam Larson for Pierre against T Area's Teak Lual. And in that 190-pound bout at 215, Elijah Bucci will take on Colton Duffy. Bucci, of course, for Pierre, Duffy from T Area. And the 285-pounders, Devin Binger for the Governors will take on Jaden Waltner for T Area. Those are your starting lineups, and they're brought to you by Envirotech in Pierre. And we've got a starting lineup to give to you also with our game officials coming up. Let's hear from the South Dakota Attorney General's office in their Division of Consumer Protection. We'll also hear from Envirotech as starting lineups, and our Bank West pregame continues. Actually, we'll have our national anthem here first as well. So let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with more Pierre Governor Wrestling on River 92.7.
Envirotech makes life a little bit simpler. No matter what the circumstances, no matter what is handed to you, Envirotech has you covered. One call is all it takes to have easy setup, easy pickup, and easy payment. Call Envirotech at 224-4804 or use their website to pay your bill online at envirotechwaste.com. Use the mobile app Waste Connect. Check their website or receive a robocall for collection schedule due to weather or holidays. Envirotech has you covered.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
This is Coach Scott Nye from your Pierre Governors and the team at Ranky Gray Wealth Management, where we focus on coaching something just as important, your finances. Everyone needs guidance through life's key financial decisions and challenges, not to mention the opportunity to feel confident that their retirement strategy will help them pursue the lifestyle they've dreamed about. As you're looking for the right team to assist you, we're right up the street and ready to provide you the help that can make all the difference. Contact our Pierre office today by visiting rankygray.com.
Every day, you share personal information about yourself with others. You may write a check, charge fuel, rent a car, mail your tax return, schedule a doctor's appointment, or post something on social media. Each transaction may share some sort of personal information, such as bank or credit card account numbers, social security numbers, name, address, or phone number. There are unscrupulous individuals, identity thieves, targeting these routine transactions, trying to gain your information to commit fraud. If you think someone has stolen your identity, contact Consumer Protection at 800-300-1986.
Back at Riggs High Gym as we get set to go. Our announcement from the South Dakota Attorney General's office in their Division of Consumer Protection giving us the law on the mat tonight. Law on the mat sponsors our game officials, our mat officials. Rob Lewis is officiating in the boys' duel. We actually have a young fella that we're not that familiar with, and we're going to try to get a name for the girls' mat coming up in just a little bit. Our opening handshake, our opening match of the night is sponsored by the folks at Comtech and Pierre. We'll hear from them a little bit later on. Now, once again, as we watch these two matches going on, you've got left and right. The girls' match, Matt will not have a match going on. Shaylee Speck gets a forfeit victory as the T area does not have anybody wrestling there. Lane Heasley will take on Emily Volker a little bit later on. So we get a chance to watch the boys' match that's underway at 106 pounds. And this is Daniel Mason against Drake Mitchell or what do you got?
They started at 57.
Oh, 157. Okay. I thought they were a little bit bigger. That's always one thing that is a little bit different nowadays than in the last couple of years. But even our track wrestling dashboard hasn't caught up just yet. There we go. Max Hunsley taking on Bo Wardell and underway. So far, about 50 seconds in, not much happening as of yet. And Coach Ryan Noyes will ask about Max Hunsley. I mean, a kid that he had a tough weekend up in Mandan, but it's still a guy that's got some good athletic ability. Here he gets his 2-point takedown, and he's off and running. And this is a guy, I think, as we talked about, how the Govs are going to be from day number 1 to end of February. This is a guy that we expect some real good improvement from throughout the year.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Max. You know, he's strong. Like you said, he's a good athlete. But he's a hard worker too. And anytime you get a kid like that, then good things are going to happen.
So far, working against Bo Wardell. Now, Wardell, Bo, presumably the younger brother of Sam Wardell, who a lot of wrestling folks are familiar with. Sam had some good battles with Trey Lewis of Pierre the last couple of years. Sam was the reigning state champion at 175 pounds, but not in the lineup for the T-Area Titans here. As the takedown staying for Max Hunsley, he's trying to get Wardell turned over. That's not happening here, and it won't happen. Well, he did get an extra point in there. Did you see what that was for?
Takedowns are 3 points this year.
Oh, there's new rules.
Yes.
Okay, fill me in.
Well, and I don't even know all of them. I just know that takedowns are 3, and I think you can get 4-point near fall as well. So, and things change so much, it's hard to sometimes keep up with it. But
Gemma Stanglin gets her hand raised as she'll also get a victory. So I don't know if we're going to have a 107-pound bout for the girls. Stanglin at 114 pounds. Shaylee Speck again at 100 pounds. So we do have a girls match coming up here.
Shaylee got a forfeit.
So Jersey Lewis gets her first home match, a 7th grader. Daughter of head coach Sean Lewis of the boys, of course. Bailey Miller, her opponent, a freshman for T-Area. We'll keep an eye on that as we're just underway in the second period on the boys' mat at 157 pounds once again, and Max Hunsley leads 3-0, but we've got a blood timeout. So our first, so to speak, timeout comes to us. Timeouts are brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling and Pierce. So here's what's happening with the girls right now. As underneath, Bailey Miller of T-Area's got one leg, but so far Jersey Lewis able to get out of that, and she'll collect a takedown, so a 3-point takedown once again. And now already into a cradle, Jersey Lewis with Miller on her back, and it is a pin in 51 seconds for Jersey Lewis. And Thomas Powell tapping the mat as we figure that out. Jersey Lewis with the victory so far. Once again, in her first match, Jersey went 2-2 in Watertown in 4 matches over the weekend. So again, it's Rob Lewis officiating on mat number 1, Thomas Powell on mat 2. Next one out, Danny Rinksmeyer ready to go for the Governor girls, and she'll have an opponent, Lilia Matthews, coming up, but she apparently needs some assistance with her headgear. On the boys' mat, 1:20 to wrestle in the second period, and Max Hunsley dealing with Bo Wardell. Keep an eye on Rinksmeyer. She's one of the top wrestlers in the state, expected this year at 126 pounds. There's certainly a lot of good ones out there, and we've seen a lot of good ones show up here in the early years of girls wrestling. Rinksmeyer already has a 2-point takedown against Lilia Matthews. She's working near the edge. Meanwhile, the boys are in the middle of the mat, and we've had a 2-point reversal against Max Hunsley, so Bo Wardell is on the board with his first 2 points. Hunsley still leads 3-2, and we've got a little blood on the mat once again, so another blood timeout on mat number 1. Rinksmeyer, Coach Noyes, going to be a lot of fun to watch this year.
Yeah, she is. She's one of those kids that we were talking about earlier that pays attention to the details, the finer things, the little things that allow you to have the success that she does. She's a hard worker, very strong, very quick, and smart, and so she's put in the time in the off season as well, and so it's fun to just watch her do her thing.
Just kind of a small but strong as it is. I mean, she just one of these girls that isn't really tall in stature, but she is. You could just see the body structure. And of course, she's a senior now too, but she just has it you can see it in the arms and the legs and what kind of strength that she does have when she's on the mat. She's got a 3-0 lead. They're a minute in on the girls' mat. We're back at it out of the blood timeout on the boys' mat. 15 seconds to go, second period, as it's Bo Wardell on the in control right now, but still trailing 3-2. So again, an opportunity to do 2 matches at one time. We've done this chance to watch things. Rinksmeyer, by the way, It's a couple of back points at a 3-second near fall. So she leads 5-0 on top of Bailey Miller. Rinksmeyer still working, trying to figure out a way to keep Miller on the mat, but get her turned over as well here in short time. We've got more blood as Casey Michelson tends to, not the nose, but apparently the lip of Bo Wardell. For T area. First period down on the girls' mat, which is to your left as you watch drgnews.com. Rinksmeyer with the choice she'll take to the down position here. Bailey Miller, a freshman, comes in over the top. And they get going once again. Rinksmeyer quickly to her feet. Miller will get her back to the mat, though. 5-0 on the girls' mat. And they don't have the scoreboards up. There's Rinksmeyer with a 2-point reversal. The scores, the running team totals, are actually on the boards on the floor near the mat. Pierre's girls, by the way, leading 24-0 with 4 weight classes done so far. Rinksmeyer with Miller on her back. And she's got a pretty tight hold here. There it is. With a minute 16 to go in the second period. Back-to-back wins by fall. This one for Rinksmeyer goes in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So the Governors lead 30-0 over T area on the girls' mat. Meanwhile, on the boys' side of things, a 2-point reversal for Max Hunsley as he opens up a 5-2 lead. This is the first match of the boys' duel. Governors against T area. First time in my recollection that Pierre has dueled T area. Another girls' match coming right up, and this should be Lexi Hilmer at 132 pounds taking on Lainey Haynes of T area. We still have more blood. Well, it's Max Hunsley who is getting attended to here from Coach Lewis. 5-2, Hunsley with the lead. Max finished off a fine football season. Of course, the Governors this season coming up short in their 7-year run of state championships came to an end when they lost a couple of weeks ago to Watertown, 14-13. T area had their season ended by Brookings, in fact, who, of course, will see T area and Brookings wrestling each other in just a little while. Lexi Hilmer working on the girls' mat against Lainey Haynes, and it's Haynes who comes out and shows activity. Haynes has a 2-point takedown, a 3-pointer, in fact, and already has Hilmer locked up here. Hilmer put on her backside here. Lexi Hilmer's had great success in her first couple of years wrestling, but off to a rough start in this one. So Lainey Haynes picking up back points along the way. We'll see if she can get a pin. I don't think she quite had the angle. Hilmer able to roll over, but now 4 points now for a 5-second near fall. I'm guessing that's another one of those new rules.
Yep.
I didn't do my research, but now a 7-point move instead of a 5-point move as it goes this year. Here's Haynes getting Hilmer back to the mat. Meanwhile, 5-2 with 22 seconds to wrestle. Still in the second period on the boys' mat. Max Hunsley leading. We've had a lot of blood time and delays in the boys' match so far. As that was Wardell up on his feet. Tripped back up. Hunsley has him down and had him rolled over. He's good for 2 points at least. Had him over for 3 seconds, so a good move there for Max Hunsley. He actually almost put himself in jeopardy, but he had the strength to move him on over 2 more. And after 2 periods of wrestling on the boys' mat, or is that one done now? 7-2. We've got another one ready to report. So I guess I get confused when there's so much going on.
Yeah. Yep.
7-2. It's Max Hunsley at 157 pounds defeating Bo Wardell. The Governors start with a 3-0 lead in the boys' duel.
Lexi chose down, and she's looking to work her way up, potentially even have a reversal here.
Getting more neutral, but Thomas Powell showing a clasp. And technicality there, but 2 points given on the reversal to Lexi Hilmer.
Nice.
And she got the 1 point also. She'll get a...
Ooh.
It was Lainey Haynes who had a clasp. So a point to Hilmer there, plus the 2 points and another clasp. So now the updated score is 7-4 with 1:10 to go, second period. Meanwhile, on the boys' mat, we'll get you set up on a 165-pound bout coming up here.
Porter Hunsley.
And Porter going against Trevor Cordell. I believe it is. Yep, Trevor Cordell. We can see the board down in front of us near the scorer's table. And so far, a 3-0 lead for Porter Hunsley. So he had a takedown, but here as they get back up and back down, Cordell was able to work out a reversal. So he'll pick up a couple of points a minute in to the boys' match. Meanwhile, Hilmer continues to work on top now, but she trails 7-4 and come from behind mode against Lainey Haynes. The Governors in T area, of course, we were talking about football a little bit ago. It wasn't that long ago. A couple of epic battles between these two teams on the gridiron. Hilmer running out of time in the second period. Stays in control as time will run out. A good period for Lexi Hilmer. And she picks up 4 points and will continue to try to chip away. And Lainey Haynes has the choice. She'll take neutral. So, third period underway for the girls. The first period winding down for the boys at 165 pounds. 3-2, Porter Hunsley with the lead as Trevor Cordell just hangs on to the leg trying to run time out, and he will. As the first period is done there. Neutral here. Here comes Hilmer looking for the shot. Try to double leg, still hanging on to one as they're near the edge to the left side. That was a quick move by Lexi Hilmer. And they'll end up out of bounds with nothing happening. Coach, a little surprised that Hilmer, who's been pretty good so far in her first couple of years, and I think she was 3-1 in Watertown last Friday, but sometimes in early season matches, you've just got to get ready and be ready right from the start. Hilmer looks like she's got her speed and got her game more working to her advantage, especially if she can get this shot to work her to her advantage.
Yeah, and just watching this, Lainey, is it Miller?
Lainey Haynes.
Lainey Haynes, she's doing a lot of the little things right. I mean, technically, so, she's definitely a legitimate wrestler against Alexi. So, not overly surprising. You've got two really, really good wrestlers out there right now.
So 7-4 there with a minute gone and a minute to go, third period. Hilmer still working from behind. Meanwhile, 5-3. Porter Hunsley leading. The crowd already starting to get a little bit loud here as Hilmer gets the takedown to tie that match up, 7-7. So two good bouts going on right now. A minute to go, second period. The boys are up on their feet. Hunsley had a reversal to start the period, and he has since let Trevor Cordell up. Now Cordell picks Hunsley up and puts him to the mat. He'll take a lead here at 6-5.
Right now with Lexi, it looks like whoever's going to be in better shape is going to come out on top in this one.
Early season, mid-season form, so to speak. And Hilmer does seem to be still stronger as the match goes along, although Haynes working her way back to her feet. Get a whistle for the boys match.
Oh, wow.
And Hilmer gets the turnover here and has Haynes back on her back. And that one's going to run the clock out with 4 back points, and a good job coming from behind for Lexi Hilmer. 11 unanswered points to take the victory by decision. 11-7. The Governors lead that duel 33-0. Now a 6-6 tie in the boys match as Hunsley got an escape, but Porter now gets Cordell to the mat, or a reversal rather. Just updating the score there. It is 8-6. And the second period just wrapped up. So the Governor boys with one match in the win column so far, trying to make it 2 in a row. They started at 157. Now for the girls, they move up to 138 pounds. It is Cordell who gets the takedown here, and he'll lead 9-8. Kesri Benning wrestling for the Governor girls at 138 pounds. She's 3-0. She had a tournament championship, as did Lexi Hilmer. I think I mentioned her at 3-1, but she was 3-0. Benning makes quick work here, though. 20 seconds as she will pin Isabel Preheim to put the Governor lead up to 39-0. T area is going to have some open classes coming up. We'll see if we get one more match there. 9-8, Trevor Cordell leading Porter Hunsley, meanwhile, on the boys' mat. Cordell is going to let Hunsley up after a play stoppage, so a 1-point escape, and we've got a 9-9 tie. Ireland Templeton will get a forfeit win for the Governors. Abby Lewis at 152 pounds will get a forfeit win. And Jada Stanky of Pierre. Stanky, the junior, I believe will get a forfeit win as well. See if there's a match at 185, which they do have one set up. Meanwhile, 45 seconds to wrestle, third period, stalemate there, and a 9-9 tie. Obviously, we're going to see a lot of high-scoring matches coming this year with these new scoring rules. 11-7, 9-9.
Between that and not quite having the defense where we want it, you know, those two things play into that. Oh.
Hunsley trying to find his way. So is Trevor Cordell. Under 20 seconds to go. Here's Hunsley with a takedown. And 12-9. The score in that boys match with 5 seconds to go. Cordell for T area will run out of time, and a good job by Porter Hunsley, who wins a back and forth match, 12-9. The Governors with a pair of decisions at 57 and 65. Let's get a quick 30-second break in here, and we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling.
Smart grocery shopping takes a little bit of TLC. Dakota Mart in Pierre is thrifty, local, and convenient. Shop Dakota Mart for the freshest produce, highest quality meats, and delicious bakery items. And shopping Dakota Mart is easier because of the spacious aisles. Everything's easy to find, and you have a clean shopping environment. Dakota Mart Good Neighbor Pharmacy offers free delivery and mail out too. Thrifty, local, convenient. Dakota Mart in Pierre, your hometown neighborhood market.
Back at it once again, and it looks like the girls are done. It looked like T area was going to bring a 185-pounder to the mat, but they did not. And the final score there after Riley Pelly, the 235-pounder for the Governors this year, gets her hand raised. I think we had a double forfeit at 185. And one last forfeit, and the Governors will win the girls' duel by the score of 63-0. Let's rejoin the boys at 175 pounds. And Will Eilers will wrestle for Pierre, his first bout of the season, as he takes on Jeremiah Wilgers for T area. So boys JV matches will take place on mat 2. You'll see that on the left as you watch at drgnews.com. So far, nothing doing in 55 seconds of wrestling on the 175-pound match. Will Eilers did not wrestle in Mandan over the weekend. Kalo Steele wrestled for Pierre, but Eilers getting an opportunity here. Wilgers. I think Wilgers kind of new to the T area varsity lineup. Obviously, a lot of these Governors will be new to the lineup as well. So far, kind of a rollout or a somersault out of a An attempt to get a takedown there for Wilgers. Still scoreless, though, in the boys' match with 20 seconds to go. First period. We separate. Wilgers checks the time. 6-0. The Governor boys lead the duel. Pair of decisions for Max Hunsley at 157, 7-2 over Bo Wardell. And for Porter Hunsley, who moved up to 165. I'd mentioned Aiden Van Balen in the opening lineup, but it was Hunsley wrestling instead. Now Eilers at 75. Pierre has Sam Larson ready to go at 190 pounds, it appears. Coach Noyes, what do we know about Will Eilers early in the year?
You know, he's one of those wrestlers that's kind of been coming up. I don't know a lot about Will, but just knowing that if he's come up through our program, he's going to be ready for this debut, that's for sure.
A little more action here as the second period is underway. Now we're 30 seconds in. And a 2-point takedown goes to the red wrestler. That is T Area, the visiting team. And there was an escape to start the second period as well. So a 4-0 lead for Jeremiah Wilgers for T Area. And I was trying to get my my own lineup fixed as T Area has moved some people around as well. In the meantime, so really an opportunity. I think and I think this is a wrestling fan's delight to see new people trying to learn on the fly and to learn from the mistakes that will obviously be made, but to see how they can correct them and see how they can improve as they go along.
Right, and Pierre's got a whole lineup of coaches willing to help kids, and the upperclassmen too. They're watching, and they know that they need guys like this to step up and help to win duels.
Well, of course, everybody, the whole bench is trying to shout advice, and they do a good job here, as does Will Eilers. He gets a 2-point reversal. That'll cut a 4-0 deficit in half with 10 seconds to wrestle, second period.
And a clasp.
Okay, they've added that. I actually didn't see the ruling on that one here. The period comes to an end. Rob Lewis with the whistle, and it's set to go to period number 3. Mr. Lewis explaining to Wilgers what happened. Wilgers looks to the bench, and he asks about going neutral, and that's what the coaches will agree with. That is actually an escape. They let him up. We're tied at 4-4. It was Wilgers who had the first period takedown. And they feel that maybe he can get another one here in the third period, but a 4-4 tie.
And I like our chances here, too. I mean, he's had a minute to kind of feel things out a little bit. So right now he's just looking for an opportunity to create an angle and get in on a shot.
Separating here. Back at it. We're 30 seconds in. 1:30 to go.
Ooh.
And it is a little spin there for Wilgers, who gets Eilers on his back here. Takedown for the T Area wrestlers. Some seconds being counted. 5 of them to be exact. That's a 7-point maneuver. 4 points pending. And they'll be awarded now. So 11-4. The new score here is T Area takes a more commanding lead so far with a minute to go. Third period, we mentioned Eilers' first match of the season. Governors went to Mandan. They filled 13 out of 14 weight classes. They did not fill 165. But Pierre will still assume to have a full 12-man roster every time they get out there. Here's a reversal rather for the Governors. 11-6. Cutting the deficit with 20 seconds to go.
And this is where you've got to have something from top. I mean, you can't take too much time, especially when you're down to 20 seconds left in the period. You got to know exactly what you're going to hit from top, and that's just part of being a ninth grader.
Yeah, he has to let Wilgers up, so it's a 1-point escape, and 3 seconds to go. It looks like T-Area will win this match, but it'll stay as a decision. And nothing major here. So T-Area with their first win of the night and the third match of the evening. 12-6, the win for Jeremiah Wilgers. Our score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, it's the Governors 6 and the Titans 3. Let's get a quick 30-second break in. We go to 190 pounds next. This is Governor Wrestling.
Comtech has your technology solutions. Check out their showroom located right off the truck route on Irwin Street. Come in and see what you've been missing. A large selection of TVs, sound systems, and smart speakers, PCs, desktops, and tablets, home and business security and telecommunication systems. Comtech is your all-in-one solution for any technology needs. Wishing all athletes the best of luck in today's competition. Comtech. Come see what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Riggs High Gym as we wrestle to open the winter sports season. Governor girls winning all the matches they wrestled tonight, 3 by pin and 1 by decision. And several by forfeit. They defeat T-Area 63-0. The Governor boys lead T-Area 6-3. Here at 190 pounds, Sam Larson, the sophomore, wrestles for the Governors. His opponent is Teek Lual for the T-Area Titans. And nothing happening so far here as we've got 50 seconds gone by. Lual, a freshman for T-Area. Larson coming up from the JV ranks. He'll take over at 190. This season. Lual doing the same, even though T-Area, I've seen a few different lineups so far in the duels that they've wrestled. T-Area lost 3 out of 4 duels at Watertown over the weekend in that season opening duel tournament, which the Governors used to go to year after year. Here's Larson with a leg up in the air, and he'll get Lual down on his back. Takedown for Larson. He's looking for more.
Yeah, he's buried.
And he's got it. A good job by Sam Larson to get a 52-second win by fall. 42 seconds, in fact. The Governors will open up a 12-3 lead on the duel mat. Now, need another 30-second break, and we'll be back for another one coming up. This is Governor Wrestling.
With medical clinics strategically located throughout South Dakota and southwest Minnesota, Access Health provides care for all ages, regardless of ability to pay. Whether your need is for a routine wellness checkup, attention for an acute illness or injury, or chronic disease management, the friendly staff at Access Health stands ready to serve you. At Access Health, your family will receive the high-quality, personal, customized medical care that you deserve without the wait. Access Health, where you are our priority. Contact your local Access Health clinic today.
Back at Riggs, coming up to the big boys now as 215-pounders are on the mat. That's E.J. Bucci for the Governors. A state runner-up a year ago. He takes on Jaden Waltner for T-Area, and E.J. goes right to work. 20 seconds in, he has a 3-point takedown. I have to continue to get used to the new scoring rules here. E.J. with Waldner on his back, and just like that, it's 33 seconds and a back-to-back pin for the Governors. One from Sam Larson, one from E.J. Bucci. Got to say something about Booch. I mean, he's going to be one of the faces of the franchise this year, and even though quick work in this one, but obviously he's going to be, I think, along with Alex Odekoven, in particular, maybe throw a Lincoln Schoenhardt in there. You're looking for leaders. You don't have a lot of seniors, but Bucci has got to be the one guy that everybody's kind of going to be looking to.
Yeah, he is the guy, and winners win. I mean, he's done it on the football field. He's done it on the wrestling mat, so he's one of those guys that everybody looks up to.
Quickly to 285 pounds, and Devin Binger is the new heavyweight for the Governors. He's a sophomore. And he takes on Chase DeBoer for T-Area. DeBoer, a senior. DeBoer's been around a while. He was a place finisher at state the year ago. He gets Binger on the mat, so a 2-point takedown here. 3 points. I'll get it. I'll get it. We have 2 duels tonight, right. So
it's definitely different. Yeah, DeBoer is one of those heavyweights. It's not fair. You know, he's big, but he's tall and he's strong and he's just very athletic.
A footballer.
Yeah.
Footballer turned into a wrestler. We talk about how those two sports go hand in hand. He's really working with Binger, trying to inflict a little bit of pain. He gets that arm turned over. Binger on his back right now, a minute in. Binger still growing as a sophomore, a kid I've known for a number of years, and I still think when he comes into his frame, you know, we're gonna see a lot of strength from him as well.
Yeah, he's a good-looking heavyweight, and he's young, you know, so give him some time, let him kind of grow into his shell a little bit.
Yeah, he has wrestled a lot, and he fought off a near pinfall there, so 7-0 here. It is DeBoer who gets the 4 back points with that 5-second near fall. DeBoer still working well. 15 seconds to go, still in the first period. One thing about scoring like this, and you know, we talk about higher scoring matches, but you know, if you happen to see things like a technical fall, you're going to see them a lot quicker where people are, you know, more heavily favored, I would imagine.
Well, and it changes the focus so much of the match. I mean, before you could choose down and get a point, but who cares? That's 1 point.
Yeah.
So now my focus as a coach is going to be, we need to get really good on the feet. If they're worth 3 points, we need to get really good on the feet, and we need to be nasty on top and get 4-point near falls.
Well, there you go. And that's something you've been preaching to me and to us as you've been on our broadcast for several years now. So you got to like these scoring rules.
Yeah.
I imagine.
You know, it would have worked well for me. Would have worked well for our kids that, you know, we had a while back when I was coaching. They were awfully good on the feet, and they like to pin, so.
It's DeBoer underneath here to start the second period. He got stood up, but Binger did a nice job getting him back to the mat. They end up out of bounds. We reset with 1:47 to wrestle in the second period. Once again, if you're watching at drgnews.com, DeBoer got out of it, and Binger is reversed upon before he really knew what happened. There are JV matches going on your left side as you watch. Of course, good job by Caleb Brozick of Live Ticket, who's got the cameras set up, and you can see 2 matches worth of wrestling. We're not going to be able to give you updates on what's happening on the JV matches necessarily. We'll keep our eyes on the one on the right, which is the varsity mat. And DeBoer has Devin Binger turned over for the second time in the match here. Binger trying to work his way back, but DeBoer curling that leg up, trying to get a little more force into it. 4 back points already pending.
Near side cradle is going to be real tight here now.
And in close for a look is Rob Lewis. He'll tap the mat for the first time for the Titans here today. This one comes in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And that'll cut the deficit to 18-9. We'll roll the lineup over after this 30-second timeout. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling.
May Adam Law Firm of Pierre offers superior legal representation. Clients can be assured their legal matter will be handled with expertise and the utmost professionalism. Their skilled South Dakota lawyers can take care of your family law, estate planning, real estate law, and personal injury. They're able to help you plan and prepare to make matters easy now and into the future. Call 224-8803. May Adam Law Firm in Pierre since 1881.
Back at Riggs High Gym, from the big guys to the little ones, we're at 106 pounds. We started at 157, so we're 6 matches in, 8 to go. Here at 106 pounds, Gable Uhrig is wrestling for the Governors. The lineup we gave at the outset of this one was what we were seeing on a computer screen, but it isn't what we were given necessarily by the coaches. What we were given by the coaches in this case is what is actually happening. Gable Uhrig, the freshman for the Governors, taking on Cade Eimers of T area. Eimers also a freshman, and Cade Eimers a youngster, but a wrestling name for the T area Titans. And about a minute into this one, we're still scoreless. They were locked up and into a stalemate a little bit ago, so this is after a reset.
Yeah, wrestlers like Eimers, at least for me, the tall, skinny kids were really hard to wrestle. They had so much leverage, and you get in on a shot, and they're draped over the top of you, and just make it really hard to finish shots.
Especially guys like us, the short guys, but
short, good-looking guys.
That'll do. Yeah, so Eimers, we see some lankiness from him. Gable Uhrig, a little bit of the shorter variety.
Nice.
Gable with a good move here as he tries to work his way around. Trying to be quick, but Eimers up on his feet. Uhrig from behind has him. That'll be a 3-point takedown. At least this time I caught it before I finished the thought.
And that's
how the period's going to come to an end. So late points here for Gable Uhrig and a 3-0 lead. Once again, the Governors lead this duel 18-9. Coach Gable took us all for a ride at the state tournament last year. A lot of great things and just some upsets pulled. But you talk about being good on the, strong on the top. And I think that's what we've come to find is that is his real strong suit. And because of that, he made his way all the way to the state championship last year.
Yeah, you're never...
Granted, with some hard luck, but
right.
All things considered... that gives him, I think, a real springboard to some real excitement coming this year.
You're never out of a match when you're good on top. I mean, you can be down by 10 points, and if you're tough on top and can apply pressure and hit certain moves at certain times, you can end a match in a hurry.
Second period underway. It is Uhrig on top. And now he's got that cradle locked up a bit here. Eimers kicking. And there you go. As Coach Noyes says, it's over in a time of 2 minutes and 42 seconds. There's the beauty of being good from the opposition. 24-9, the updated score. We're halfway through halftime in our broadcast. We'll do this after the next match, but halftimes are sponsored by the folks at Wealth Partners, Ameriprise Financial. They're in the Capitol Creek Center Plaza on East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. Jacob Mason is out, the senior for the Governors. He'll take on Henry Fortin, an 8th grader for T area. This one could be a good match as well. No, Daniel Mason.
Yep.
Daniel Mason, younger brother. I was wondering why the JV singlet was being employed here. So Daniel Mason, who we listed at 106 earlier. Gable Uhrig took that spot. Daniel Mason here takes this one. So Daniel, the 8th grader, taking on Henry Fortin of T area. A lot of times what we're given and what teams go with, you get into dual situations, there's always some jockeying for position, things like that. Here's Mason with a 3-point takedown. He starts off the scoring in this one. About 45 seconds in. Fortin back up on his feet, but Mason will get him back to the mat. Fortin, you mentioned earlier, a wrestling name. Guy you know is one of the better officials in South Dakota. We see him at the state tournament every year. Rod.
Yep.
From T area, although Henry here getting a 2-point reversal now. He makes it a 3-2 match. Daniel Mason of Pierce still leading this one. So again, as we learn about some of these wrestlers on the fly, what have you seen? I mean, so far, obviously, you kind of know what to expect because you know how the peer coaches teach and things like that, and maybe how the youth coaches and the middle school coaches teach the game, teach the sport as well.
Yeah.
But are you seeing things that you're not surprised by at all? Are you seeing anything that has caught your eye so far?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just, and especially with our younger kids, is recognizing position. If you realize that you're out of position, you got to hurry up and make a change before you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. If you're in good position, obviously you're in good position, and you've got time to work on certain moves. Looking at T, their coach, John Neeson, and I went to Orlando together. I know what kind of a coach he is, and I would expect good things from his kids too. Looking kind of up and down the lineup, they look pretty young, but watching their kids, they're wrestling well. They're competing hard tonight.
Daniel Mason for Pierre did end the first period with a 1-point escape, so he leads 4-2, and we're just underway in the second period. Once again, if you're just joining us, Pierre Governor Wrestling to open the winter sports season. We've got a triangular at Riggs High Gym tonight. Pierre Wrestling 2 duels, but the second one will be later on in the evening. Here against T area to start. Here's Fortin with a 1-point escape now. 30 seconds in to the second period. We've got a 4-3 match going as Daniel Mason has the lead for Pierre. Pierre in T area to start. Then it'll be T area against the Brookings Bobcats. We will take a break in our broadcast then. Just do regular programming, although live ticket will continue to broadcast, and you'll still be able to watch those matches at drgnews.com as well as gogovs.live. Later on, we'll be back on the air with Pierre and Brookings in the third and final duel of the night. Near the edge here, Fortin trying to collect a takedown. Will he have enough room for one? Trying to pull Mason back to him. And I heard a whistle, but it was on the other mat. We are still neutral here. So 4-3, 38 seconds to go. Tate Stoser with a junior varsity win for the Governors. As he got a tap of the mat. Here comes Mason as he's got Fortin down. He just fell right into him, and a great hold going here for Daniel Mason with a win by fall. 3 minutes and 39 seconds. Another 6 for the Govs. They lead 30-9. Let's pause for a halftime break. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling.
Ameriprise Advisors can work with you to provide personalized, goal-based advice based on your short and long-term goals. Plus, you can track your investments and financial solutions with our digital tools and regular meetings. Call Ameriprise Financial Advisor Angie Teason with Wealth Partners, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, at 605-224-6777. That's 605-224-6777. Office is located at 740 East Sioux Avenue, Pierre, South Dakota. Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Welcome back to Riggs High Gym. Brian Oakland along with Coach Ryan Noyes here. The Pierre Governors lead the T-Area Titans 30-9. Scoreboard on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. Use their budget plan and keep full service. Stay warm all season long with Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Got a discussion going on here between the official and the scorers table. Are we talking about scoring or maybe what's going to happen here at 120 pounds? We do have 2 wrestlers out ready to go at 120.
Well, just like you've experienced tonight with technology now, when kids report to that table, if it's different than what it shows down there, then sometimes it takes a minute for the computer to catch up.
For the Governors, we expect to see Bodie Minder, 8th grader. In the program, Slater Wilson listed for T area. We'll see if maybe that's what they're trying to change up a little bit, although T area does not have a listed junior varsity wrestler at 120 pounds. Both wrestlers pacing. You see people pacing and you think they're nervous, but it's just trying to stay loose in this case.
Well, and they're pretty amped up and just need to keep moving.
Once again, Rob Lewis, our official, still at the scorer's table. And I'm sure they're just trying to get track wrestling set up. Slater Wilson will be announced. Slater Wilson was wrestling at times so far this season at 126, so we expect to see Tyler Woodring at 26. But we're underway here at 120 pounds. And Wilson goes right to work on Bodie Miller. 2-point takedown in the first 10 seconds. So Slater Wilson with the experience here, although just a freshman. Bodie Miller getting his first taste of varsity action early on this season as well. 3-point takedown plus a 1-point escape, 3-1 early. As Wilson didn't get a feet to back move, he just let Miller right back up. Now Miller getting scrappy a little bit.
Minder.
Miller. I said Miller, didn't I?
Yeah.
You know, Bodie Miller was a champion skier. I think that's where I'm going to be struggling with that one. An Olympic skier from years ago. Bodie Minder, thank you.
He is one of those kids that I've watched in youth wrestling all the way up, and he's done a lot of really good things. You know, my comments earlier about growing into a spot here is, you know, that kind of hits the nail on the head here. Mm-hmm. You know, he's when you look at the two, he's clearly not as, I guess, put together as this kid. I mean, even a year difference, it makes a big difference. So.
Yeah, Wilson, you can see the chiseling a little bit in the definition in the back muscles. He did get another 3-point takedown, has a 6-1 lead.
Bodie's a very good technical wrestler, so it's just a matter of kind of getting his feet wet, so to speak, and I anticipate him to have a very good, for sure, second half of the year.
6-1 our score here, still wrapping up period number 1. Giles Auble of the Governor JVs, who got his hand raised after a win by fall on the JV mat. 6-1 as the first period ends. And Slater Wilson for T area will take to the down position here. Governors have won 6 of 8 matches so far in this opening duel of the night. They lead T area 30-9. Wins by fall for Sam Larson at 190, for E.J. Bucci at 215, both of those in the first minute. But Gable Urick goes 242, and Daniel Mason, the 8th grader, with a win by fall at 3 minutes and 39 seconds, helping the Govs out to this 30-9 lead so far. The stalling warning here for Minder. Yeah, we got a 1-point escape now, 7-1. That goes to the T area wrestler. He has the lead. That's Slater Wilson. Governor's going to be strong this year, obviously. Coach Noyes at 215, but sometimes you're looking for those, you know, the runs of experience where you can pick up points in bunches. And I think the middleweights look like that's where maybe that could be the case, depending on the opponent, obviously.
Yeah, it definitely, you know, our first 2 weight classes, you know, have some kids that have done some winning, and then you get down to Walker and Alex, you know, and Rowdy, you know, Lincoln and Max. I think right through the middle there, like you said, they're going to be pretty good. And then EJ, definitely one of those kids that kind of puts the exclamation point on it, you know, if we've got the lead.
Good efforts here going on with Bodie Minder, but he has not been able to get the hold he needs to get Slater Wilson on the mat. Wilson now doing most of the work up top, but Minder still hanging on to that right leg and keeping it turned a little bit. Final seconds of the second period. And only a 1-point escape to Wilson. That's all the scoring in that second period, but Wilson leads 7-1. Choice here goes to, I thought Wilson had the choice in that second period, but in either case, it's Wilson down, Minder up.
He might just feel comfortable on top and want to take another shot at it.
Well, he trying to stay with both feet underneath as Wilson tried to get up out of it, but Minder seems to me as you say that, and as we watch this one just right now, even though Wilson coming back to his feet again, it does seem like Bodie's getting a little bit more of a feel for this for this particular opponent in this particular match, even though the escape is once again there. 8-1, the updated score.
In the last 3 minutes, it's been 2-0.
Yeah. It was Minder trying to get a strong throw, but Wilson fought it off, and now Wilson with the takedown to lead 11-1. Minder in a little bit of trouble here. Wilson will try to keep that right shoulder back on the mat. And now Slater Wilson proving to be the stronger of the two. Under a minute to go, third period, and they won't make it that far as the mat is tapped in a time of 4 minutes and 7 seconds. The win by fall here goes to Slater Wilson for T area. That'll update the score to 30-15. Governors have the lead. The 126-pounders are coming quickly, so we'll keep it here. And a good one coming up. Tyler Woodring, a junior for T area, placed high in the state tournament. I want to say he went to did he go to the finals, you recall? I believe he did.
I thought he was as well, but
I was looking all of that up earlier today or yesterday, but Woodring takes on Walker West. And West, an experienced wrestler for the Governors. He's a junior. 3-4 so far on the season. Here comes Woodring trying to work quickly. And there's that three-point takedown to start things off. 20 seconds in. Woodring going nowhere. He'll push West away, let him up for the 1-point escape. Now 3-1. West comes right back in, grabs a leg. Oh, but Woodring just grabbed the right leg and almost went right into a cradle. He got West right back on the mat. I thought he was going to continue with that, but apparently he didn't feel it was there. He's working something different here with a 6-1 lead.
Boy, he got a near side cradle, but he also trapped a leg, so this is really tight.
Yeah, I thought West was done for here a few seconds ago, but we still go on. There it is. Now you can just see it from our vantage point. 1 minute and 4 seconds. Tyler Woodring does what he expected to do. And he's got T area now back within 9 points here, 30-21. Our score, we go to 132. Let's take a quick 30-second break. We're back with more Pierre Governor Wrestling on River 92.7.
Taking care of your vehicle since 1980, TMA and Pierre has been serving Central South Dakota for over 42 years. Owners Bruce and Brenda Lounsbury, owners of the Ultimate Tire Store, have been taking care of customers at TMA for over 30 years. TMA, your hometown-owned business, offers quality service and products. Tires, mufflers, alignments, oil changes, brakes. Call 605-224-6167. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. TMA, next to the Northridge Plaza in Pierre.
Back at it at Riggs High Gym here, starting off our winter season. Alex Odekoven, the junior for the Pierre Governors, is taking on Braden Dunkelberger. Dunkelberger for T area is a senior. And Odekoven, though, guy that's been used to winning for a few years now, has Dunkelberger on his back. Just 40 seconds into this one, so a 3-point takedown. Add to that some back points now. Dunkelberger back face down. And a 7-0 move to start for Alex Odekoven.
Wow.
And just a strong move to get his man over on his back again.
Yeah,
and there's the pin. You say wow, and that was just that was Odekoven making it look easy, just with a little strength in the arm to move a whole body.
Yeah, he was looking cradle and then just decided he was just going to power him over, and it was tight.
So recognition of the situation there. I thought we wanted to work on some things early on in the season. Don't all wrestlers want to do that?
No, you want to get off the mat as quick as you can.
Okay. And get the next one moving now at 138 pounds. This is Jeremiah Wirtz for the Governors. His opponent is Dalton Cooper. Dalton Cooper for T area. I'm still looking for Mr. Cooper on the in the program here, but that is, nope, it's Sam Bullis. That makes sense. Sam Bullis for the Titans. Bullis, a sophomore, against Jeremiah Wirtz, the sophomore here. First three go to Bullis, and then near the edge, a quick 2-point reversal. So it's almost as if Wirtz trying to make amends for a mistake he made early on, but a 3-2 start here going to the T area wrestler. Updated score 36-21. The Governors lead the duel. Governor girls won their duel 63-0. They only wrestled 4 matches. The rest of them were forfeits. But they won 3 of their 4 bouts by fall, and a great come-from-behind effort also by Lexi Hilmer, who was down 7-0 early to Laney Haynes, but she came back and won that match 11-7. Past the minute mark here in period number 1, 3-2. This is Wirtz. Bullis got on his feet. Wirtz gets him back. Another new guy in the varsity roster. Tell us about Jeremiah Wirtz.
Just, pretty green. It looks, he's strong enough, obviously, but, you can see the kind of the gears turning, or the wheels turning, so to speak, trying to figure out what he wants to do here. And there's some uncertainty, but the longer he wrestles here and he's out on the mat and getting a feel for it, he'll put a couple moves together.
Well, he's in a good place right there. His coach doesn't have to do much shouting, but they do have a blood timeout here, as we'll see Sam Bullis have to come and get some attention. So a timeout on the mat. Blood timeouts brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling. Timeouts in our broadcast, we should say sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling.
And this is exactly what we were talking about. Coach Lewis picked up on that right away, and he's given him some guidance on how to handle that the next time he's in that same situation.
From the opening takedown, you mean?
Yeah.
Or what happened and why he lost that?
Yeah, Jeremiah was on top, and he just looked uncertain of what he wanted to do. And so Coach Lewis has given him a few tips and tricks for next time.
Bullis is back ready to go, but we've got the mat wipers out there making sure everything taken care of. Some unsung heroes in a wrestling match.
Right.
They don't get enough praise, do they? Whether they're young kids or medical personnel. 3 seconds to go here. It was Wirtz in the hold, but Bullis works his way out with a late point on the 1-point escape. So a 4-2 lead taken to the second period for Sam Bullis of T area. All the JV matches are done. The Brookings Bobcats are using that mat to warm up a little bit, as are some upcoming T area Titan wrestlers. T area and Brookings will wrestle each other here at Riggs in the middle duel of our triangular. T area finishes that one, and then they'll head out to Rapid City tonight, like the Governors, who will compete in the big Rapid City Invitational tomorrow and Saturday. Bullis up top here. It's Wirtz underneath, 4-2. Sam Bullis for T area leads this 144-pound bout. We've got this one plus 2 more to wrap up this opening duel. Here's Wirtz. He's got, he had the hand around they had the arm around the head, but he couldn't curl it underneath, and Bullis stays in control.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where he just wants to get to his feet. He's kind of headhunting from down and trying to headlock, and he's in a better situation here if he pulls it off, but ended up with an illegal headlock.
Yep. Now, good idea there, but just not technically the right way to go about it.
Yeah, in my opinion, you don't want to reach back, because the second you reach back, you're going to get half Nelsoned or something. So best to just get to your feet.
So a technicality point goes to Bullis, and that'll be a 5-2 advantage. We're halfway through the second period. 1 down, 1 to go. Wrestling tonight. Basketball at Riggs High tomorrow. We start up the basketball season all new. T area joins the AA ranks this year. We'll see the Titan boys here early in the season, but the Governor girls will go to T area later in the year. Still not much happening right now, although just attempt by Wirtz to sit up and out, but
just stand up. You preach that over and over and over again. You don't want your head to be down on the mat. There we go.
Stalling call here, but just as Wirtz was standing up, and this is just a warning. I think Bullis gets bailed out by a whistle there.
Yeah, he did. If Jeremiah's smart, he'll continue to stand up here with 13 seconds left and try and get if not an escape, at least get another stalling call.
Try to get a late point or two here in the second period. Doesn't look like that's going to happen, though. 3-2-1, and with a 5-2 lead, Sam Bullis will take that to the third period. So far, 11 matches wrestled. T area has won 4, and Pierre has won 7. T area has won 3 of their 4 by fall, but Pierre has won 5 out of 7 by pinfall as well. Bullis in the down to start the third period this time. Jeremiah Wirtz up top, trailing 5-2.
He's got a pinning combination locked up.
There he's got him turned over.
Step over.
Bullis gets back face down, but the hold is still there. You just need the leverage, and Wirtz has it again momentarily.
He's got a 2 count, but he needs 3 or 4 here. 3 to tie and 4 to be up by 1.
Still a lot of time here. 1:20 to wrestle, third period.
Just run it.
Run it right at him. Does he need a little more room for that, though?
He'll be all right.
Depending on the angle.
No, let it go. There's 2.
2 back points to Wirtz. That'll pull him within 1 at 5-4. And then Wirtz kind of fell off to his right.
Count him.
Oh, we got a clasping call. It looked like Wirtz to me was in a little bit of trouble, but he had something working there.
Yeah, he just about had him tilted, but he must have locked his hands.
So a point again to Sam Bullis. 6-4 the score. And Bullis has been awarded 2 penalty points in this match, and that's the difference right now. 45 seconds to go, third period.
He's got that arm trapped again. He needs to run that same pinning combination.
Bullis trying to work up to his feet. Wirtz gets him back. Now Bullis will reach around the back of the neck, but it is Wirtz. It still has it. Now he'll force him over. Wirtz puts the head back to the mat. 22 seconds to go. Official in for a close look. This is going to give Wirtz the lead at the very least. Forget about it. It's over. Jeremiah Wirtz staying with it. And at a time of 5 minutes and 48 seconds, another win by fall for the Governors to up their lead to 42-21. Good job by Jeremiah Wirtz.
Yeah, good things come to people that don't quit. It doesn't matter what the score is, as long as there's time left on the clock, you can pull things out.
Talk about, and as we talk about learning on the fly, I think he learned an awful lot in just the span of one almost 6-minute match there.
Right.
So with 2 to go, we're up to 144 pounds now. Parker Wilson on the mat for the T area Titans. For the Governors, this is Talon Lightfield. Talon, an 8th grader. As for Parker Wilson, he is a senior. So youth against the upper class. And Lightfield. He almost had something there.
Well, the thing you got to remember here, you've got 8th grader versus senior. Talon's not going to get many underclassmen, but he is a very technically sound wrestler who's going to do good things for the Governors.
Well, they couldn't get the takedown. It is Wilson who comes around and gets one himself. So 3-0 to start for T area here. 1:05 to go. First period, rather. Once again, Pierre in T area. This one plus one more to wrap up. Then it's Brookings in T area. Pierre and Brookings a little bit later on. We'll still do a full post game coming up here and hopefully get a chance to talk to Coach Sean Lewis. Maybe we'll take that opportunity before their next match.
There you go. Circle to it.
So Lightfield grabs the leg from underneath. Only one hand. Now he loses it altogether, and Parker Wilson still has pretty good control near the Governor bench here.
He's got a cradle locked up, but so far Talon's fighting it off. There he goes. Pulls his head out. Going to get a reversal out of this. There, right?
Oh, if he can, well, now runs out of, almost running out of room. They're on the edge. And Wilson back in control, but the period comes to an end just before the throw there. Green choice here, but they'll defer. So even that last move that Talon was almost able to pull off, maybe just didn't have necessarily the eighth grade versus the senior strength to do what he needed to do.
That and things happen so quick. You know, his mind is still processing things, and you know, obviously a senior's been at this level a little bit longer. Just needed to recognize what he had.
2-point three-pointer again, once again. Nope, it's a reversal. 2-point to start the second period for Parker Wilson. He's got a 5-0 lead on Talon Lightfield. It just seems to me, Coach, in all these years that we've been covering wrestling together, especially since you got out of the coaching ranks, I don't think we've had a team with only 2 seniors on the starting roster.
Yeah.
That's what we're seeing for the Govs, and one of them, Jacob Mason, we're not going to see tonight. But it is, I don't know, strange in that regard.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times, too, when you have such a senior-dominated team, you know, like they had the year before, you know, those kids are having to pay their dues, and, you know, they're not going to make that tough of a lineup. So this is their first shot, so to speak.
Yeah. Lightfield with an escape. So we've got a 5-1 match going as Wilson tries to pick up the pace and spinning around, working his way toward a possible takedown. There it is. 3 more once again.
There's a reversal.
8-1, the current score.
Again, not recognizing what he had. He was real close.
$15 seconds to go. This is the second period.
Here we go.
And now Lightfield backing his way into Wilson, and there's your reversal. 2 points there. Short time in the second period, though. Wilson trying to get Lightfield rolled over, won't do it. We've got an 8-3 score. So we'll go to the third, and this time it'll be Lightfield taking the down position. And Wilson doesn't want any part of that. He'll let him up. Wilson's been controlling this match for the most part, but I think you got to ask, you got to wonder if Wilson, obviously he's probably recognizing, you know, some of the issues he's almost gotten his own self into.
Yeah.
And still has been able to fight him off, but you can't rely on that every time to be the case.
Yeah, and he's definitely a little nervous. I mean, he realizes he's wrestling an 8th grader, but I guarantee you right now he's saying this is one tough 8th grader.
8-4 here. Top edge of the circle. For those watching, drgnews.com, the DRG News app available here. Out of bounds with 1:20 to go. This match isn't over yet.
There's going to be no quit for Talon. It's just whether or not he's got enough time to make up the 4-point deficit.
Governors lead 42-21. They have clinched the duel. Sometimes you want to stay defensive just the same to make sure you don't give up too many as far as the team totals are concerned. Out of bounds again. Just under a minute to go. One more match to come at 150. Here with experience in that weight class with Lincoln Schoenhardt coming up. Here's a takedown again. That'll up the lead to 7 at 11-4 as we hit the 40-second mark. And now it's Lightfield who is rolled over. Not really a pinning opportunity here, but back points are a good addition to the effort here for Parker Wilson.
And if you're Talon right now, you just want to tie up hands and not allow him to get anything hooked up.
15-4 now after 4 back points awarded. 15 seconds to go. Going to have a good amount of wrestling on the air here coming up and tonight as well as next week, Tuesday night. The Governors will host Aberdeen Central. 1 point escape to close things off. 15-5, the final score in this one. We'll also have a match at Harrisburg, I believe, 1 week from tonight, next week. 4 points for the Titans. That'll update it to 42-25 with 1 bout to go. Let's sneak in a 30-second break, and we're back to finish this one off. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling.
Wherever you are in life, you've got plans. You need health insurance for today and for the future. You need Avera Health Plans. Coverage that connects you to community resources, fitness center incentives, and health coaching. You need a health plan that provides solutions for your business and for your family. Open enrollment is happening now. Visit AveraHealthPlans.com for more information. Avera Health Plans, moving health forward.
One more bout to go here in our opening duel of the night. Welcome back to Parkview, or to Riggs High Gym. I was just going to say Parkview Gym with basketball going on KPLO FM, Stanley County and Miller. That's happening over there. Meanwhile, we've got wrestling here at Riggs. It's basketball tomorrow night. Lincoln Schoenhardt to close things off for the Governors. The junior, 5-3 already on this season. Got a lot of wrestling in at Mandan. He'll take on Trevin Audis here. Audis is a freshman for T-Area. Lincoln had a quick 2-point takedown, and now as they had a reset from being out of bounds, Schoenhardt working again, trying to make it quick work. 4 back points. A good 5-second near fall there for Schoenhardt, who leads 7-0.
Going back to the butcher again. From top.
And Schoenhardt spinning one way, then back to the other. Grabbing that ankle, trying to get it worked over. Now up high. And Audis on his back. Looked like there were seconds counted. I don't know if there were 3. There aren't any. Well, there are points pending. 4 points. So once again, Schoenhardt scoring well. Already 11-0 here in this first period. And again, with these new scoring rules, that'll offer up higher scoring opportunities. 26 seconds to go. They went out of bounds near the T area side.
We get to turn the tables a little bit. We have, upperclassmen with Lincoln against the 9th grader. So I guarantee you he's feeling the strength of Lincoln Schoenhardt.
And Lincoln with a little flinch in up top. He'll be cautioned for a false start. 11-0. Lincoln leading. The Governors lead 42-25. This is the first duel of the season for Pierre. T-Area has already wrestled 8 duels, and this is their 9th with another one to come tonight. They're 4-4 overall. Wins over Mitchell, Chamberlain, Huron, and Sioux Falls Roosevelt. But they have losses to Watertown, Aberdeen, Canby, Minnesota, also in that Watertown dual tournament on Saturday. And then T-Area lost to O'Gorman, 41-27. on Tuesday night, which kind of makes you think that O'Gorman's got something cooking there as well.
Yeah, this is a good T team.
Schoenhard gets a few more seconds, a few more points, 4 of them, and fall to finish the first period, and essentially will finish our match tonight as well. 5 points for the Governors, and your final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. The Governors defeat T-Area 47-25. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Your final score is Pierre will win 9 out of 14 weight classes. 47-25 the final. We'll take a 3-minute timeout. We'll get into the postgame. Your postgame is brought to you by Family Dental with offices in Pierre and in Gettysburg. And we're back to wrap up, or to kind of recap this first duel of the night here at Rigside Gym. 3-minute break. This is Pierre Governor Wrestling, your official voice of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
The team at Family Dental in Pierre.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Being local means more than being just another small-town business. It means showing up for our member owners when they need us, supporting the organizations that empower the next generation of community leaders and agriculturalists, and providing resources to help ensure the communities we live in are here for generations to come. At AgTegra Cooperative, local isn't just about where our locations are. It's about serving our farmers, our employees, and our communities in ways that nobody else will.
Hey Josie, why so glum, chum? I can't find a way to get my whole group to one spot without taking all these cars. You haven't heard of Denwall Transportation? They have luxury seating buses with air conditioning, outlets to charge your phone, and other must-haves for traveling. Whoa, no way! Yeah, you should check them out. Where can I find them? You can follow them on Facebook or denwalltransportation.com, or hey, let's give them a call at 605-532-3836. Denwall Transportation, let us do the driving.
Explore the 2023 Lincoln Navigator at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Every time you approach your Lincoln, you'll receive a re-carpet welcome. Twin turbocharged 3.5 V6 engine with auto start stop technology. You'll travel confidently with technology that meets all your needs. Now you can get the 2023 Navigator for 5.9% at 72 months. Stop in to see the full vehicle lineup at Capital City Ford in Lincoln. Capital City Ford in Pierre, South Dakota.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
As well. Coach, good start here tonight. And the one thing I wanted to ask you about early on here tonight, but you had to go to weigh-ins, you had to do your thing, you had to do us.
Side of coaching, right?
You know, I tell you what, it's just...
just let me coach.
Please, let me talk to the radio. No. obviously you got a lot of turnover this year, and you went to Mandan over the weekend, and it's going to be a work in progress. You're not going to see the high place finishes in tournaments like that. Maybe presumably in Rapid City here tomorrow and Saturday, but you're going to be doing a lot of teaching and a lot of coaching. But you guys got a pretty good crew to do that, and I imagine you've got a really good group of willing listeners and learners ready to get headlong into this season.
Yeah, I mean it's been a fun team so far. We graduated last year. What was it, like 9 seniors? You throw on top of it, we have like 6 kids that either have season-ending injuries from football or nagging things that just aren't in our lineup right now. So I mean, we've got 2 seniors compared to 9 last year, and it's so it's definitely. I mean, it's turnover. There's a lot of running going on. We went to Mandan, and maybe team-wise didn't place as high as we wanted to, but individually, I was really happy with what we did. We went up there. They have 13 weight classes, and so we're trying to fit our guys in there. And Sam Larson had been sick for over 2 weeks, so we didn't take him up there. So we're down to 12 out of 13. Heavyweight up there was absolutely loaded. So bigger struggle to score us points. And then we had 2 varsity guys in the same weight class, and Hunsley was our point scorer, and Schoenhardt was not. Schoenhardt placed, Hunsley didn't. So you can talk coaching all day long if you want, but I really talked to these guys at the beginning of the year. I was like, hey, here's my goals. I'm real transparent when it comes to goals. I mean, they need to know the expectation, and then we need to just get better every single week. And so far, I mean, I think we have. That was a pretty good showing by us. I mean, I think you're seeing a lot of the fight that these guys have, whereas they don't have a ton of experience, but they're going to fight you to the bitter end. And so, I was really happy to see that in the setting so far. Whatever have you, and I thought we performed pretty well.
All right, with T area too. I mean, a team that's certainly in a lot of places has experience. It looks like they have, a lot of young guys too. So really, I thought as the first few matches were starting out, I thought it was really going to be, kind of one of these nip and tuck, real close matches where it could come down to the last few matches, but you still you kind of pulled away with them because you got pins, which is always the key to success.
Yeah, we did a good job putting guys away. They're missing a few guys in their lineup right now. Sam Wardle, 2-time state champ, he's still nursing an injury, trying to figure out exactly when to come back is the smartest time for them. And I think Eimers as well. And it's where do they get all of those guys back into their lineup? I don't know. I'm sure they don't quite know at the moment right now. But both teams went out there with what they had. They've got a little bit of youth, and we had some youth against youth, but for the most part, we had our experienced guys against their experienced guys, and so I mean it went pretty well as a duel.
And some back and forth matches, even right off the bat. I mean, Max Hunsley, I know he struggled in Mandan to get the victories, but gets a solid win. Porter Hunsley back and forth too, and I thought even getting wins to start, but getting the team off on the right foot, because you never. I don't know if you ever know where you're going to start the way you're doing it these days, but still, that was a good way to begin, just getting 2 wins right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, you don't ever start counting points and taking for granted you've got this and that in any situation, because at any point in time, it could change from one bad move. But both those guys, they stepped up for us. They went up the weight class from where they weighed in, and so I mean that puts you at a little bit of disadvantage right away. And you kind of saw there's a feeling out process, and Max seemed like the same way last year. He started a little slow, they finished the year really strong, and so we feel that. He didn't really fall off, at any from the end of the year, but maybe just not starting as strong as he would like. But we've got all the confidence in the world that he's going to get there.
Important Hunsley with that 12-9 win. Will Others, we saw kind of in a bit of a back and forth, but once you get Larson and Bucci out there, and granted they looked like they were certainly the favorites in those matches, but that's you get those points where you can, and that was really, I guess, the springboard for the rest of the match. Even though Binger gets pinned, but you get 2 more pins right up at the top of the lineup again.
Yeah, Bushi coming out doing what he needs to do. And we just look up and down the lineup with these freshmen and sophomores that we got. I mean, if we can do winning with freshmen and sophomores, things are going to be fantastic. Binger probably going up against their best athlete that they have in the poor kid. He's kind of massive, maybe not a full heavyweight, but he's a massive athlete. He's a really good athlete, and the whole family is. I could take you down the lineage trail on that one because I know his dad really well. But good family, tough task, and then you kind of move back into our lightweights. Whereas that's a place you're in and you're out. We kind of demand and expect excellence, and we've had that. Complement our upper weights that it's a trust me thing. So I thought we did a pretty good balance top to bottom, and when we get Bucci and those guys, they know the job. They know to go out there and get bonus points, and let's get this thing secured.
Absolutely. So Bodie Minder, Walker West, they'll outmatched in their matches, but Odakover comes out and does the job, and then Jeremiah Wertz in this back and forth match that we had. It seemed like one of the recurring themes tonight, especially for the youngsters and the inexperienced guys up there, we were talking about recognition. And Jeremiah, opportunities, but maybe just didn't fully recognize the situation. But it seemed like there was another one. Some of these matches where kids just learned on the fly, and they, in the course of 6 minutes, really kind of took advantage and kind of showed just what you can do when you do ultimately recognize what's happening.
Yeah, Jeremiah Wertz, I really don't know how many years he's been wrestling, but since he's gotten in our room, last year and then this year, he's flourished. He kind of stepped up to the challenge at the JV side, was kind of being a leader with just what he was doing on the mat, wrestling and just learning for the year. And he really transpired that into this year. He kind of got thrown into a varsity role, which he maybe didn't go into the year expected to wrestle any varsity, but he's in it. I mean, he did really well last weekend at Mandan, and he's kind of been a bright spot so far where it's like, all right, we got a kid who's willing to listen, and he's willing to hustle, and if you're willing to do those two things, they're all good things are going to happen, regardless of wins and losses from it.
And it's those recognition times where it just seems like that might be the recurring theme, at least in the early part of the season for a lot of the kids that we saw tonight.
Yeah, you're going to get in positions that we haven't done as much position wrestling now as we probably need to, just because of how young the team is with the development that we're trying to accomplish. But they're listening from the sidelines. They maybe didn't see the move, the first time they got into a position or situation, but the second time after we really had a chance to coach them, and they're listening from the sideline, they saw it, they hit it, and they put it in. So it was awesome to see.
All right, you got Brookings coming up after they battle T area. Just not a very complete lineup for Brookings this year. I guess over the years I thought that program was up and coming and putting some good things together. I don't know if they're taking a step back or whatever, but that'll just be a situation to go out and take whatever you can get and hopefully pick up some more wins.
Yeah, they're going to have some opens. We just got to not let that ruin the fire and the energy that we need to have. We were going to talk here real quickly about, however X number of many matches that we have, that's ultimately, regardless of the duel score, that's going to be our duel. So we want to win, a majority of those and not give them up. And, they've got three pretty good kids, that are up and down in their lineup, and so we've got to make sure and minimize damage in those three and compete in the rest of them and see what happens.
All right, I won't ask you to come up after that duel, but you kind of preview the big one with Rapid City, and this tournament just gets bigger and bigger every year. It seems there's teams from out of state. I even saw one from Idaho coming, but then you add the girls. It's just a lot of kids and a lot of craziness, and still one of the best events you can find around.
Yeah, what did I see last? It was like 75 total teams. Some of those are girls only and boys only, but you got 32 man brackets for the girls, 64 man brackets for the boys. You think that JV tournament going on as well, 14 mans across the you've got 5-6 different states. Teams come one year. Across them off the list. I'm not really sure how you exactly get to 75, but there's a lot of teams. It's not even a state tournament. It's a multiple state tournament. You call it states. You could put that state versus states all the time. But No, it's a good one. I mean, if you can put yourself in the finals, or you can place in a Rapid City, you're a state place winner or a state finalist in our book.
We say that every year, but this is the opportunity to get a really good look at more of your in-state competition that you didn't have last weekend.
Yeah, there's we saw Stevens and Sturgis. They're really you just get to see a pretty good from South Dakota. Your top teams for the most part, they're there. So your top individuals are there. They're going to compete. And, that's what we're going there to look to do. Because some of these teams, you may not see for a month or even a month and a half. So it's got to take advantage of the opportunities we got.
Coach, good start against the Titans here. Good luck against the Bobcats this weekend. And you see you later tonight. If not, we'll see you Tuesday. We got Aberdeen coming too.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
And Aberdeen's pretty good this year, aren't they?
They're not bad. I don't think they lost like 2 kids from last year, so they're pretty good.
Sean Lewis, Governor head coach, and the Governors defeating T Area in this one on the boys' side by the score of 47-25. Along the way as well. They shut out the Titans 63-0. Let's run down the matches for you, and on the girls' side, starting at 120 pounds, Jersey Lewis with a victory by 4:51 seconds over Bailey Miller. That after forfeits go to Shaylee Speck, Lane Easley, and Gemma Stanglin in the first 3 weight classes. So 6 points for each one of those, plus 6 for Jersey Lewis, plus 6 for a win by fall for Danny Ringsmeyer, the senior who defeats Lilia Matthews in 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And then Lexi Miller got caught in the first period and was taken down and scored by Lady Baines of T Area to 7-0. Got a late flurry herself with 4 points from the back. And late in that match, Lexi Hilmer comes up with an 11-7 victory and a 33-0 at the time lead. Kessery Benning makes quick work in just 20 seconds with a win over Isabella Preheim. Benning, the junior for Pierre, with a win over the freshman for T Area. That made it 39-0. And then Ireland Templeton and Abby Lewis and Jana Steinke get forfeit wins at 145, 52, and 65. And I believe we had a double forfeit at 185, if not then at 235. But the Govs got one more forfeit, and your final score was 63-0 on the girls' side. For the boys, as we recap, at 157 pounds where we started, Max Hunsley gets the win 7-2 over Bo Wordle, a 3-0 lead for the Governors there after that decision. Porter Hunsley gets a win as well, 165 over Trevor Cordell. This was a back-and-forth match, but Porter wins at 12-9 in the end, and the Governors led 6-0. T Area gets on the board with the decision win at 175 as Jeremiah Wilkers defeats Will Eilers 12-6. That made it 6-3. The Govs get 2 first-minute hits in a row. Sam Larson over Teague Luau. 42 seconds to put it up to 12-3 on the dual lead. And then 2:15, E.J. Bucci, a 33-second win by fall over Jaden Waltner. And Pierre led 18-3. But then at heavyweight, it was Chase DeBoer over Devin Binger. 4T Area, the win in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. That makes it 18-9. The Govs followed up with 2 more pins in a row, though, at 106. Gable Urig over Cade Eimers. 2 minutes and 42 seconds to make it 24-9. And Daniel Mason of the Governors finishing off Henry Fortin in 3 minutes and 39 seconds to put the Govs up 30-9. But then T Area comes back with a couple of wins by pin. Slater Wilson over Bodie Minder in 4:07. Tyler Woodring at 126 over Walker West in 1 minute and 4 seconds. And T had pulled back within 9 at 30-21, but that was as close as they would get, as the Governors again get 2 wins by fall. Alex Odekoven over Braden Dunkelberger in 1 minute and a second. And then Jeremiah Wirtz in 5:48 over Sam Bullis. Pierre led 42-21. It was Parker Wilson at 144 pounds defeating Talon Lightfield 15-5. The major decision gives T Area 4, and it's 42-25. But the final 5 come from a technical fall, closing out the first period as Lincoln Schoenhardt defeats Trevin Audis 15-0, and Pierre wins the duel 47-25. Among other things in our broadcast, we talk about big plays of the game. Your big plays are sponsored by the folks at Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. Let's hear from them. Big plays are coming up.
Quality comes first at Hermanson Endodontics. Dr. Brian Hermanson serves Central South Dakota with specialty root canal treatment. Hermanson Endodontics strives to provide treatment that's not only comfortable, but also provides the best possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with the dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art three-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Hermanson Endodontics appear with the big plays in this match, or in this duel, big plays of the game. And, obviously there's a lot of pitting going on tonight, but there were a couple of them that we really didn't know how things were going. And I think big plays in this game, to me, come from some back and forth matches that we saw. One of them was at 165 from Porter Hunsley, who was back and forth with Trevor Cordell. And again, a couple of, for varsity purposes, a couple of inexperienced wrestlers, but both found their ways into the lead, but surrendered some points, but were able to score. It was Hunsley who got the last flurry late. I think when he wins 12-9 and the Governors get a couple of decisions to start, that kind of got them going, obviously, with a couple of quick pins in the 195 and 215 that got them going. We had another one of those back and forth matches with Jeremiah Words at 138. He was trailing the entire match, but he got the flurry in the end and eventually got Sam Bullis on his back and won that one 5 minutes and 48 seconds to win by fall. So a good job by Words there. A couple of big plays in the game. And, of course, that one, I think for all intents and purposes, that one sealed the deal for the Govs. Put them up 42-21 with just 2 matches to go. It was a 15-point deficit for G-Area going into that match. Jeremiah Words put it out of reach. One of the other big plays of the game brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. We've got candidates as well when we talk about your player of the game. Now, for the girls, I'm going to go one player of the game tonight. We'll wait until their matches with Brookings are done a little bit later on. But player of the game for the boys, we've got a decision to make. As mentioned, player of the game is brought to you by Cowboy Country Stores Pierre in Fort Pierre. Let's hear from them. Your player of the game coming up next.
Anytime is a good time for Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Fill up your tank and your stomach with delicious foods. 5-piece chicken tenders with wedges, just $9.99. Breakfast sandwich with hash browns, $6. Feed the family while on the go with delicious foods. Breakfast starting at 5 a.m. Fresh baked pastries, coffees, regular and breakfast pizzas. Convenience with a capital C. Cowboy Country Stores and Champ's Chicken in Pierre and Fort Pierre.
Cowboy Country Stores giving us our player of the game. And tonight, the Governors winning 9 out of 15, or 9 out of 14 weight classes. And again, it was 6 of those 9 with wins by fall. You have a technical win for Lincoln Schonard. The decisions for Max Hunsley and Porter Hunsley. Obviously, first minute, Sam Larson and E.J. Bucci looking very strong. A couple of guys I was really impressed with tonight in finishing their matches. One of them, Jeremiah Words, who we talked about with a big play there, 5 minutes and 48 seconds. But I'll be honest with you, I think one person I was pretty impressed with tonight was at 113 pounds. It was Daniel Mason wrestling in place of Jacob Mason. And Daniel comes up with a 3-minute, 39-second win by fall over Henry Fortin. And it is Mason tonight who I'm, in this case, going to go with for player of the game. We'll get the first wrestling player of the game shirt sponsored by Cowboy Country Stores in the name of River 92.7 Sports. As he helps the Govs to a 47-25 victory. Daniel Mason, the Governors here, Cowboy Country Stores player of the game. Well, that'll do it for our first coverage of the first duel. Now, my plan was to really kind of take a break. I honestly don't know how long that's going to be. It's going to be a very short break, I think, all things considered. But we will take a little bit of a break, catch our breath a little bit. Brookings and T-Area, we're right now. T-Area leads 30-18, but they're wrestling at 126 pounds already. My assumption is that they started this one at 165, so they've only got a few matches in their lineup as to how it is not a very deep lineup. The Bobcats are not filling all weight classes here this evening, but let's take a break of, I'd say about 10 minutes at least, maybe 15 minutes. We'll go back to regular programming, and then we'll be back. John Calder will join me, I hope, as the Governors will wrestle the Brookings Bobcats a little bit later on. Reminder for those on the road, though, the South Dakota Office of Highway Safety reminds us all that buckling up seatbelts save lives. Make sure you buckle up every trip, every time we home. We've got someplace to be, especially with the holidays coming up. Happy holidays, by the way. The Pierre Governors, the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, defeat the T-Area Titans 47-25. We'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes as we continue to keep you covered. Governor Wrestling on your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Next up on the JV map, 150-pound match. For the Titans, Morris Cesar.
Shopping takes
And
up
for the Bobcats, Jonas Murray. On the varsity mat, your 132-pound match. For the Bobcats, Sawyer Johnson. And for the Titans, Braden Dunkelberg. We've done another ball on the JV mat. Referee Lewis stops the action at 38 seconds of the first period. Your winner by ball for the Titans, Morris Wasesa. That will conclude our JV action on the gray mat. Your winner at 132 pounds by fall, Braden Dunkelberger. 138 pounders, please report. Checking in for the Titans at 138 pounds, Sam Bullis. And at 138 for the Bobcats, Jacob Milline. Referee Paul stop for that at 1 minute 52 seconds of the first period. Your winner by fall for the Bobcats at 138, Jacob Milliron. 144 pounders, lose your board.
Nope, I know. This might be it.
Checking in for the Bobcats at 144, Jack Briggs. And off that for the Titans, Parker Wilson. Your winner for the Titans, Parker Wilson. 150 pounders, please report. Collecting forfeit at 150 pounds for the Titans, Trevin Audis. 157 pounders, please report. Receiving a forfeit for the Titans at 157, Bo Wordle. That will end our varsity duel for the boys between T and Brookings. Titans taking the team victory 48-54 to 30. That will conclude action for the Titans this evening. We would like to thank them for coming out wrestling this evening. We wish them best of luck on the rest of the season and safe travels on to Rapid City for the Rapid City Invite tomorrow. Our next and final duel for the evening will feature the Pierre Governors and Brookings Bobcats.
neighborhood electrical service contractor, and so much more. No job is too big or too small for our team of professionals. We pride ourselves on keeping up with new technologies, such as Aerial, an augmented reality visual tool used to customize and experience a finished space before breaking ground. So whether you're building new or renovating a home, farm, or commercial space, let John Hoffman Electric light the way. John Hoffman is a proud sponsor of all local activities broadcast on Live Ticket TV.
Protect what matters most with the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, American Family Insurance. Our personalized insurance solutions ensure you're covered, no matter what life throws your way. From home and auto to farm, commercial, and life, we tailor policies to fit your unique needs. With our dedicated team and exceptional service, you'll have peace of mind knowing you're in good hands. Contact the Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, LLC.
Best of luck in today's competition to the Pierre Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy, your local agronomy experts. Black Sheep Agronomy wants you to have a successful farm plan, and they're focused on products and practices that work in this region. As community members themselves, Tyler, Tice, and Austin support area students who work hard in their school and extracurricular activities. Good luck, Governors from Black Sheep Agronomy. Call 842-6104 for all your agronomy needs.
Stay in a beautiful Black Hills vacation home, the Summit on Dancing Sky near Leeds, South Dakota, in the popular Powder House Pass development. It's a modern rustic design with over 5,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, and 5 baths for you to enjoy. You'll get gorgeous views of the Terry Peak Mountain Range. There's a community pool to enjoy, and you're close to all the attractions like Deadwood, Sturgis, Spearfish, and a whole lot more. The Summit on Dancing Sky. Visit them at DancingSky.com.
Needed to recognize situations they were in. Obviously, I think what we saw from the girls that wrestled, they were already pretty well aware of situations that they've been in. Each and every one of them had some pretty good experience, maybe save for Jersey Lewis. But the Governor boys, yeah, they got in some spots. They got out of them. Some of them they didn't, but all in all, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, and obviously we take a look at both teams right now. I think we're kind of at the ends of the spectrum with both of them. The girls got a pretty heavy loaded, senior class and junior class coming in. Some ladies that have been wrestling for quite a while. But yeah, the boys, start looking at relatively young. But pretty impressed with what I seen in the T duel and even in the losses. It just kind of looks like, we're the growing pains are coming, but yet they're getting less and less and less from what I've seen over the last couple of weeks.
So now you get the Brookings Bobcats, and to my surprise, I thought, and I'd said this with Coach Sean Lewis, I thought Brookings may be the last few years a team that was really starting to put some things together, and I guess it was an assumption growing the room, so to speak, but now we come out and see maybe 5 open weight classes here. It's just not happening there, even though they do have some quality where they may not have quantity.
Yeah, the two things that really surprised me there is, one, you've got a phenomenal football team, and usually those two do kind of go hand in hand if you get those football players out to wrestle and vice versa. And the other one is you start looking at having a D1 program in the community. It's kind of hard to sit back and watch that team slip a little bit like we're seeing this year. And I'm kind of with you. I expected to see at least a full lineup out of them.
Yeah, but they've had obviously have had guys and kids who have made a lot of noise at the state tournament.
Oh, yeah.
But we are ready to get going here. So our Bank West pregame show going to be very much abbreviated here, but we'll try to keep up with what's going on. I was looking on Track Wrestling, by the way, a duel that just took place, and highly touted Sturgis has lost a duel tonight to West Central, so a little bit of a surprise there. The girls are underway. We've got boys matches coming up, and we'll get, as we say, caught up as well. We talked about keys to success with Coach Sean Lewis earlier. Keys to success are brought to you by Central Dakota Eye Care in Pierre. We'll do the starting lineups as we go along, coming to us courtesy also of the folks of Envirotech in Pierre. As soon as I get my right dashboard up, we've got boys that are reporting. We've got a girls match already underway.
And actually, first match for the boys, we had Kayla Seeley going on receiving a forfeit. So we're actually on to the second match there on the boys' side.
All right, so we start in the boys at 165 pounds, so a 6-0 start. Nobody reporting for Brookings at 175. They do have a young man by the name of Mason Mathis, who we expect good things from. Girls get a pin now, and I've got to get caught up as to who that was. I believe, it's Shaylee Speck in a win by fall in 41 seconds over Claire Milliron. So the Governor girls get off to a good start. Lane Heasley, I believe, will get a win by forfeit at 107, and we should have a 114-pound match coming up with the Governor girls leading now 12-0. So here at 190, Sam Larson on the mat against Gabriel Stern. And probably, and I'm assuming that is the matchup that we're looking at here. But Stern, he's a good one for Brookings. We talk about quality where maybe there isn't quantity, but Gabriel Stern is out to a 6-1 lead, and we're a minute into this match. So Sam Larson, who had a good pin in his first match of the season against his T-area opponent, now meeting his match here. Stern lets him up. It's a 6-2 lead. This is on the right side, Matt, of course, as you watch at drgnews.com. Matt officials once again. It is Rob Lewis on the boys' mat right now. Thomas Powell handling the girls' matches. They did flip-flop for that other duel in between, but here as Stern loses his headgear, but he's still working to get Larson to the mat. And there he's got another takedown. 3 points this time, and after that maneuver is complete, we'll also have a blood timeout, but a headgear timeout at the same time. Timeouts in the broadcast brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Coke is always a good drink for the holidays, thanks to the Polar Bears. We'll just mention that. Let's get caught up on what's going on the girls' match. JW, you've been looking at this one a little bit. It's Gemma Stanglin against Bailey Tecroni, a junior for Brookings. And so far, scoreless. Good match going so far.
Yeah, Stanglin's been a girl that's really surprised me this year. Had a pretty good tournament out in Watertown. I think maybe, I wouldn't say surprise people, but, kind of maybe some unexpected wins there in that case. And just kind of watching her wrestle right now. And I tell you what, just a girl staying in really good position. And, we kind of talk about the differences between the girls and the boys here, and just, kind of the basics is what's really important to them right now. And she's doing some really good things and scoring points here.
3 points for a takedown for Stanglin here. With, under 15 seconds to go first period. And she has Tecroni on the mat right now with that lead, and that'll hold through the end of the first period. Back on the boys' mat, it's 9-2. It's Gabe Stern with the lead for Brookings over Sam Larson. They're wrestling at 190 pounds, and again, Pierre got a win by forfeit at 175 pounds to start the duel. So Pierre leads 6-0. Stern and Larson lock up but push away. We were talking earlier in the T-area duel about a guy like E.J. Bucci for the Governors, who is, I think the senior with the most success has to be the clear, vocal leader, I think, in the room that isn't coming from somebody on the coaching staff or something like that. And I imagine that has to be Gabe Stern for Brookings, too.
Oh, I would imagine. I mean, again, you kind of watching him wrestle right now, just a kid that's in control all the time, hitting really good shots, finishing, turning the corner, finishing. And, even a situation where probably Sam should have scored there on a front headlock situation. And, he was able basically to get an elbow wrist and back himself out to his feet where, hopefully, I shouldn't say hopefully, where he's able to possibly do some more damage here.
In fact, I'm looking at the Brookings lineup, and I only see the one senior, and that happens to be Stern on the entire roster, and not just the one I had, but also the one in the program. So, it's another good question. I mean, how much do kids learn from other kids on the team as opposed to just the coaches?
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of your wrestling is with the kids in there, and so I mean, it can go both ways in a season for a kid. If you're kind of expected to step up and be that leader, and you don't have those guys that you wrestled with, for the last couple of years, I mean, there's sometimes it can slip a little bit for guys, and it's a tough role for a kid like E.J. Bucci, who's wrestled with the Sarda and wrestled probably with Trey and some of those guys in the past, and, to step up and be that guy and kind of take these other guys underneath his wing.
12-2. It is Stern leading Sam Larson. 33 seconds left, second period. So he's got a good handle on that one for the Bobcats. As Larson probably will try to minimize damage from here on out, and maybe hope for his opening there too. Meanwhile, Gemma Stanglin wrestling for Pierre against Bailey Tacrani of Brookings, and it's a 5-1 lead for Stanglin as they get through the final seconds of the second period here as well. Tacroni has been in the Brookings wrestling room a couple of years. We've seen her at the state tournament. And Stanglin will just kind of start making her way. But Gemma, of course, older sister Gianna was a state finalist a couple of years ago in her senior year too. So the pedigree is there for Gemma.
Yeah, and there's a family too that's kind of bought into this women's wrestling, this girls wrestling, and they're hitting camps, they're doing in the summer work, and again you're seeing that transfer into that success that she's having so far this season.
Third period underway on the girls' mat. Another escape here for Tacroni, so it's 5-2. Stanglin leading, and we expect the Governors to, on the girls' side of things, to excel in this duel as they did in shutting out T-Area earlier tonight. Stern still working with a 12-2 lead on Sam Larson. Trying to get him rolled over, but they're at the near edge if you're watching at drgnews.com. Not a lot of real estate to work with, but still plenty.
And speaking of Stern, he must be a pretty strong kid. You take a look at Larson. He's probably, I would say, almost pound for pound, one of the strongest guys on the team right now. And he's a tough kid to move around. And just watching what Stern's doing with him right now is, his technique's there, but strength's got to be there as well for him.
And watching Stanglin still controlling things with 45 seconds left, but it's not an easy job to score right now against Bailey Tacroni.
Yeah, just like see, she's got to pin that elbow down, and one of those, Tacroni's got that arm up on the leg there real quick. Okay, and so realistically, that's what's stopping her from circling. If she could pin that elbow to the mat, basically get a quick little go behind, I think that would have been an easy score for her there.
25 seconds to go there. Meanwhile, out of bounds on the boys' mat with 32 seconds left. And again, it's just Sam Larson trying to minimize damage. Larson starting his season tonight. He had a win by fall against his T-area opponent, but well outmatched in this one so far. 15 seconds to go in the girls' bout, as both of these are going to come to an end at about the same time. Tacroni trying to make one last effort here. But Stanglin will win this one 5-2. The girls will lead 15-0. Gabe Stern leads 13-2. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll give you an official end to the boys' match as well. But let's pause for 30 seconds as we bring you coverage of Governor Wrestling on River 92.7.
May Adam Law Firm of Pierre offers superior legal representation. Clients can be assured their legal matter will be handled with expertise and the utmost professionalism. Their skilled South Dakota lawyers can take care of your family law, estate planning, real estate law, and personal injury. They're able to help you plan and prepare to make matters easy now and into the future. Call 224-8803. May Adam Law Firm in Pierre since 1881.
Welcome back to Riggs High Gym. Brian Oakland along with John Calda this time around. Pierre against Brookings. Governor girls lead 15-0. That was a 13-2 win for Gabriel Stern over Sam Larson. So Brookings gets a major decision. And the boys' duel has a Governor lead at 6-4 as they move to 215 pounds. E.J. Bucci wrestled earlier, but I believe maybe the Governors get, they do have, it is Bucci on the mat. And a quick win here for the Bobcats. Lily Toft with a win over Jersey Lewis, this time with a time of 54 seconds, a win by fall. Lily Toft, an 8th grader, but we see her dad, Eric Toft, the head coach of the Brookings girls squad. Got a good one coming up with Danny Rinksmeyer at 126 to take on Cammie Erickson of Brookings. Meanwhile, Bucci just now finishes off a 58-second win by fall. And that is over Zach Hageman of Brookings. So the Governors win, or the Governors lead 12-4 on that scoreboard. Hageman, a junior, but spending a lot of time in the JV ranks up to this point. We'll go to 285, where Devin Binger will wrestle against Dylan Reynolds of Brookings. On the girls' mat, once again, Rinksmeyer, as she did in her first match tonight, making quick work of the first takedown. Governors won 3 out of 4 matches, actually wrestled in the girls' duel earlier against T-Area, but 3 of those 4 were by fall. And oddly enough, it was Rinksmeyer who took the longest to get her victory at 2 minutes and 44 seconds. But I think Danny's going to do a lot of great things in a methodical way this season. I just can't wait to see what possibilities she has this year.
Yeah, I mean, she's a patient wrestler. And I mean, it's kind of one of those situations. She's not really forcing the issue, but kind of taking what, her opponent's given her. And so, you're not going to see her problem when it comes down to it. Like you said, methodical is a pretty good term for her, and just waiting for that right opening to make it happen.
Erickson is listed in the program, but not with a grade, so I'm not really sure what age level she is at. I did see Erickson in previous action for Brookings, picking up a couple of wins earlier on this season. Brookings went to Watertown, as did the Governors, this past Friday in a girls' tournament. They only scored 59 points. They only had 5 wrestlers competing in that tournament.
And talking to Rinksmeyer today, I believe this was the finals match in that tournament. So, I mean, again, probably one of those where could end up pretty good. We'll see how it finishes up here.
That's actually, I did say I expected a good one here, and that you're right. I did remember seeing that myself. Scoreless so far. 2 big boys still on their feet in neutral, and the heavyweight bout for the boys duel. 15 seconds to go. Devin Binger and Dylan Reynolds. Binger for Pierre, Reynolds for Brookings are still scoreless. See Devin Binger, who has been outmatched in his matches so far this season, but right now has maybe an opportunity to pick up a win here if he can get something executed here. As it looks like will he take the down position to start the second period? The coaches are jawing back and forth, but Binger to the knees there.
I'm out trying to watch the interaction over there, but yeah, I think this is probably a good place for him. I mean, it's tough to go down in a heavyweight match, but Binger, that's kind of where I think he's probably going to score some of his points. He's kind of got a little move that he likes to hit that can kind of get the heavyweight guys on top off balance a little bit. So if he can weather a storm here and get a little bit of movement, might be able to make something happen.
Meanwhile, Danny Rinksmeyer still scuffling to a 3-0 lead. As here I've got those tournament results, and it was Rinksmeyer. She did get a win by fall, 3 minutes and 45 seconds over Cammie Erickson on Friday. That was in the championship. That was the only loss Erickson has so far in 4 matches coming into tonight. So I guess, if this one were to come out similar, you're looking at a patient wrestler, as you mentioned, in Rinksmeyer, and probably just waiting to find her spot here. But still in control, 3-0 with the lead. Stalemate called by Thomas Powell. 45 seconds to go on that girls' match. Devin Binger is in danger of getting rolled over here. Dylan Reynolds has him on his back now, as Reynolds gets the pin. An even 3-minute win by fall. Brookings will get a pin back after BJ gets one himself. BJ Bucci here leads 12-10. And meanwhile, Rinksmeyer has Erickson on her back, and very similar to the result from Friday in that Watertown Tournament Championship. Danny Rinksmeyer with a win by fall in a time of 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Got a quick break here again. We can take it. Both matches in limbo. or both mats. Let's take a 30-second timeout, and we're back with more Pierre Governor Wrestling.
Taking care of your vehicle since 1980, TMA and Pierre has been serving Central South Dakota for over 42 years. Owners Bruce and Brenda Lounsbury, owners of the Ultimate Tire Store, have been taking care of customers at TMA for over 30 years. TMA, your hometown-owned business, offers quality service and products. Tires, mufflers, alignments, oil changes, brakes. Call 605-224-6167. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. TMA, next to the Northridge Plaza in Pierre.
Back at Riggs High once again, as a couple of forfeits have been awarded to the Governor boys here at 106 and at 113 pounds. Gable Urig with a win, and Jacob Mason was announced. And the Governors lead Brookings now 24-10. Keeping things going. On the girls' mat, we're underway. I think this is the final girls' match we'll have. Lexi Hilmer has already gotten out to a 7-point lead over Ramsey Heinricher. Heinricher a freshman, Hilmer a freshman as well. But Hilmer has Heinricher on her back, and in 58 seconds, that is a win by fall. 27-6, the Governor girls with the victory, with the lead. And I think Brookings, I don't know if they'll have anybody else. There is one more girl they brought. So we'll see what, actually, they do have somebody gearing up.
They got a heavyweight listed, but I'm not sure if that's that weight class or not. But, yeah, I see one warming up down there.
Tia Ashley may very well be getting ready to go against Briley Pelly, although the Governors with Kesri Benning, Ireland Templeton, Abby Lewis, Jada Steinke, they'll all get wins by forfeit here. And Pierre collecting 6 points for each of those. Meanwhile, we are at 120 pounds, and Bodie Minder back on the mat for the Pierre Governors, taking on freshman Hunter Mellon of the Bobcats. Minder with a quick move here, trying to grab a single leg quickly, and 45 seconds to go. So again, Pierre leading the boys duel right now, 24-10. And it's guys like Bodie Minder here, JW, that I guess you're the best guy to ask about them. These are middle schoolers, and that's your forte. That's your domain is Minder. Gets the arm wrapped around the head, and he has his opponent on his back. Mellon struggling, but he's back to face down. So 7-0 lead for Bodie.
Yeah, he was one of those kids. I mean, last year he actually got pulled up into the high school ranks, but was behind, Gable in terms of at 106. And so, it didn't crack the lineup, but very successful youth wrestler. There we go.
Beautiful half Nelson there. He spun him right around with a 7-0 lead. And right at the end of the first period, that is a 2-minute win by fall for Bodie Minder. We were talking about recognition. He had kind of some opportunities that just couldn't quite take advantage of in his T area match. But, just judging by this particular match that we just saw, maybe a kid that's going to learn from his own mistakes and learn very quickly from them.
I mean, this is a kid that's he's done some traveling. This kid's done a lot of camps, ever since he's probably been 4 or 5 years old. And one of those situations to where you can, I don't know, to me, it's almost like you can learn too much. And you're trying, what maybe works at an AU level isn't necessarily going to work at a high school level. And so I think for him, it's transitioned into those high school ranks and wrestling kids that are a little bit more mature, maybe a little bit bigger, and what can you physically do and not put yourself in bad situations. So I think for him, it's just going to be match experience.
So on the boys' mat now, it's Walker West, the junior, against Micah Stern, an 8th grader. And we see Walker with a 3-point takedown. He could not get Stern turned over just yet. They're 30 seconds in to that match. Girls 235-pounders are reporting. And we will see Briley Pelly, a freshman for the Governors, as now it is Walker West with Stern on his back. 5 seconds already counted as Stern, the 8th grader, trying to kick and kick. Keep rocking back and forth. There, boy, it looked almost like West had him, but Stern almost rocked right into that pin. 4 points for West and a 7-0 lead, but he's got him cradled up again. And again, Stern on his back. Riley Pelly will take on Taya Ashley for Brookings, as that match has just started. 57-6 after 5 straight forfeits for the Governors. Governor girls who lead 4 more for Walker West, as he now leads 11-0 in the 126-pound bout. So, a couple of, I believe, inexperienced wrestlers here for the girls match. We'll see what they can do, learning on the fly. Got West on a reset in the opposition with that 11-0 lead.
How you come with the new scoring system?
It took me a while. Yeah, it is. And Noisy had to remind me of it. I remember reading about the rule changes, but I don't retain anything. There's a technical foul win for Walker West, as that one comes at the end of the second period. Good job for Walker. 5 more for the Governors and a 35-10 lead over the Bobcats there. And, to me, it's always been just one of the things that rolls right off of the tongue, a 2-point takedown.
It still does for me.
I've said that probably 5 times tonight. But one time I caught myself before I finished the sentence, and I changed it.
I got to imagine it's got to be tough for the refs. I mean, you get some of these veterans that are out there right now. I mean, it's just, like you said, it's just muscle memory for them just to raise up a 2. I imagine that's got to be tough.
I saw it as a good start here now for Alex Odekoven taking on Sawyer Johnson. Meanwhile, Briley Pelly is not able to get the takedown here. Ashley will, and with 6 seconds to go in the first period, some late points there for Ashley, who has a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, Briley did a really good job there fighting off that double leg, and I was actually spin out and come into a wizard situation and just let go of it. I mean, it's one of those two. She'll learn, right, that you've got about 5-6 seconds left. You just got to hold on to that wizard and just pray for, dear life that it's not going to come off and let the time expire.
Alex Odekoven, meanwhile, with another takedown after yielding an escape. He leads 6-1. I was going to talk about the points scoring earlier, too. I saw Thomas Powell earlier holding up the 3-finger signal, and I was thinking, no, that's got to be a 4, right? Well, then I realized it was a takedown. Yep. It wasn't a near fall. More points for Odekoven. He leads 10-2 now. And here's Pelly.
Oh, good half.
On top.
Self outside and go. Up outside.
Got her rolled over, but Ashley rolled a little further. Now Pelly's got Taya Ashley back on her back. Crowd trying to get behind her. Meanwhile, Odekoven finishing a pin himself. Alex Odekoven gets one. Briley Pelly gets one at 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Odekoven's time in 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Governor girls defeat Brookings 63-6 in their duel, as that was the final say. Once again, 3:34 for Odie. And the boys for Pierre lead Brookings 41-10. There will be a few JV matches for Pierre and Brookings boys. Here's Jeremiah Wirtz back on the mat now. 138 pounds, I should say. And get caught up as to who exactly Wirtz is wrestling. I believe this is Jacob Milliron. Milliron scores first in a 3-0 lead. And it is Jacob. So Alex Odekoven defeating Sawyer Johnson. I said 3:34. That was 1:34. It was still in the first period. That's the second time I've assumed a match to be going longer than it actually did.
I still don't know how you're keeping them straight up here with all the action going on. So I'm just impressed that you're able to keep up that well.
Try it with 3 brackets at the state tournament.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we do. So again, we will put our focus on mat number 1. If you're watching at drgnews.com, that's the mat to your right. There will be boys JV matches going on. Here's Milliron staying quite active, and he has Jeremiah Wirtz on his back. Milliron's been there in that Brookings room a couple of years, but, from what we've seen. But tell you what, from this vantage point, he looks like he's pretty well built now here.
Yeah, I was impressed, actually.
He's just a sophomore.
Yeah, the first shot that Wirtz took was actually a really solid shot. And he was able to just basically stand in there with his hips and just kind of knocked all that momentum off. And it takes some pretty strong hips to do that.
So, Wirtz. Well, we saw him reaching back there. It looked like he was trying to reach back. Coach Noyes said something. That's something you really don't want to get caught doing. And now, as Wirtz has been rolled over here, Milliron scoring some points and looking for more. Oh, and just as Rob Lewis is going to tap the mat, he had his back tapped by the mat tapper himself. So 4 points added. Milliron scored a couple of 4-pointers, which are 5-second near falls here in this new age wrestling. It's 11-0. But that's what you're seeing now. And to recap the point about this scoring, you're seeing higher scores, but we've already seen a couple of very fast technical falls tonight. And Coach Noyes says, maybe one thing about it is it might prevent people from just choosing to go down to start a period just to get a sometimes an easy point.
But we're seeing that right now, even on the middle school ranks, in terms of, before it was always an automatic go down, you're down 2-1, get a takedown, you're up and so on. And, with the 3 points and the takedown, it's almost, if you're good on your feet, let's just get back to our feet right away and let's just keep taking kids down.
And so Noisy said that, what it really kind of forces you to do is to get better on top.
Yeah.
That's stronger on top.
Yeah, you're going to see some, I think, more mat wrestling in terms of, again, looking for those 4-point near falls, because like this right here, it puts away a match pretty quickly.
4 points for Milliron here, and he's got a technical fall victory for the Bobcats. And he defeats Jeremiah Wirtz 15-0 with 1:07 to go second period. So Brookings will add 5, but they still trail 41-15. 144 pounds upcoming. I actually have Brookings with 3 open weights at 150, 57, and 65. The program maybe has a few more things coming up. We'll see what happens here. Talon Lightfield back on the mat for the Governors as he takes on Jack Griggs. And maybe Brookings will be able to move up a wrestler. I had them with 144. We'll see how that goes as well. Early on here, Lightfield against Griggs. Griggs is a junior. Talon Lightfield, an 8th grader. As JV matches get underway for the boys on mat number 2. No scoring yet, but quite a little activity in that first 39 seconds here. Now, Talon Lightfield was one in his first match, if you saw that, Coach, where, we kept using that term recognition. And, a young man who's, as you know, in the middle school ranks, I'm sure has done quite well. He shows the ability, but here against older and more developed wrestlers, it's trial by fire this time.
Yeah, not to mention underweight. You get a lot of these 44-pounders are coming down probably from 55, maybe even 60 when it's all said and done. And, here's a kid that probably, when it's all said and done, is going to probably be wrestling in the 30s somewhere, and so he's still kind of on his way down. And obviously maturity is a big, big part of it, but it'd be fun to start seeing wrestle some kids, I think, that are a little bit more his size as well.
And some of these 44-pounders, like you say, these middleweight guys, I imagine a lot of them are beefing up for football if they're playing football, but now they've got to start cutting again in short time, especially if you're a Pierre Governor football player going to state championships for 8 years.
Yeah, that's always been kind of one of those things for us in the OPC system is it's been tough to get those kids down where they need to be right off the bat, which is why we're starting to see, I still think our lineup isn't quite where it's going to be at the end, and we've got some guys moving down and just can't quite get there yet just with that new system going on.
So Lightfield gets himself a 3-point takedown here, and that's how he's going to be able to finish this first period. So 3-0 to start here for Talon Lightfield. He's going to defer right away. And the Brookings wrestler will choose neutral. Jack Griggs. Pierre girls win 63-0 over T area, 63-6 over Brookings. Lily Toft at 120 defeating Jersey Lewis. The only win for the Bobcats in that one. Governors otherwise get a win by decision from Gemma Stanglin. Wins by fall from Shaylee Speck, Danny Rinksmeyer, Lexi Hilmer, and then also from Briley Pelly. There's another takedown awarded as they started neutral in the second period. Lightfield's got 2 of them now and a 6-0 lead. Wrestling here tonight. We've got a good one coming up Tuesday night as well when Aberdeen Central comes to town. And tell you what, from what we've seen so far, obviously Sturgis, the defending champion, looks pretty good, but Aberdeen Central's got just about everybody back, and that's going to be quite a battle. That might be the top 2 this year.
Yeah, that's going to be, they've got some good young kids that are starting to really work their way into the program right now. And we've seen that in the middle school. We've seen that in their youth. And, we start looking at, Donnie Bowden's kind of turning the tide just a little bit with the program from what it's been over the last couple of years.
6-0 it is. Talon Lightfield getting Griggs back on his back again just now. Griggs tried to roll through it. Lightfield repositions. And it's a win by fall right there. Matt tapped at a time of 3 minutes and 31 seconds for Talon Lightfield. And that one adds 6 for the Governors, who now lead 47-15 on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. Brookings is going to remain open at 150. As I just saw their head coach, Matt Hansen, say, no, we've got nothing here. And we'll see if they have anybody at 57 or 65. Nope, they have somebody getting geared up to go. This will be Lincoln Schoenhardt at 157 pounds coming up. Or is it? Nope, Schoenhardt wins by forfeit at 150. What do you think Shoney can get done this year? I mean, he's always there. He's always right there, but he's just been kind of the, it depends on the matchup for Lincoln Schoenhardt. But
I'd say from what I've seen tonight, and again, obviously we've only seen 2 opponents, but he kind of looks like a man on the mission. And we've always let's go back to what you guys have talked about basically all night, and just situational wrestling and understanding, the risk versus reward with some moves and just, win-in periods and stuff like that, which I always think has been a kind of a challenge for him when he gets to state tournament time. And just looks like he's solid, staying in control. I like where he's at right now.
And obviously he looks as in as good a shape as he's been in a long time. And I'm so happy for him. I used to coach that kid in bowling, and now I actually saw him throwing a bowling ball last night. So it's a different style of weight training. Multi-sport athlete.
Was it a 6-pound ball or a 16?
No, I imagine it was probably would be a 15-pounder probably. At any rate, we move on here to 157 pounds. And Max Hunsley on the mat once.
Aiden Van Balen is who we have here, yeah.
So actually, Max Hunsley reported at 150, Lincoln Schoenhardt at 157, and now Van Balen here at 165. So this is our final match of the night. A tough opponent here in Mason Mathis for the Brookings Bobcats. Mathis scores first. We're in the first minute here of this match. So I do have Van Balen at 65. Schoenhardt and Hunsley. Porter Hunsley, who wrestled at 157. Take that back. It was Max at 157, Porter at 165 earlier. But Van Balen wrestling for the first time tonight here. And I think for the first time on the season, he did not wrestle in Mandan. Van Balen trailing 3-0 early. So Mathis gets him down early, but hasn't been able to do much since until He is able to force him over now, but they're very near the edge to the Governor's side. Seconds were counted. Back points here. 3 back points?
Yep.
How many seconds is that?
That's 3. So 3 seconds is 3, 4 seconds is 4.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought there were
Yep.
2 points being awarded earlier still, so it is 3 and 4. I could have sworn I saw 2 points being awarded earlier. Maybe I was just...
Yeah, still in a
catching a first
reversal, I
glance.
think, is the only, I think that's the only time a 2 can be awarded.
Okay. Learning on the fly.
We got
It's not just
we got the rest
wrestlers.
of the season. We'll be good. We'll get you caught up.
You know, I said earlier I can't retain much of anything. I remember trivial things.
Oh, you
I
remember things. There's no doubt.
I remember, I can remember certain years when people did certain things on the wrestling mat. But if you think I'm going to read a rule change in the summertime and remember it in December, you're sorely mistaken. Meanwhile, we move on. Mathis getting stronger here. Van Balen continues to roll through. But more points there. This time 4 more for Mason Mathis, who now leads 10-0. Here with a win by fall on the JV mat there. Van Balen just can't seem to, well, now he does get his arm free from behind. Mason Mathis, 4-2 on the season coming into tonight's action. So you've got Mathis, you've got guys like Gabe Stern, and we've seen Jacob Milliron performing well tonight. Dylan Reynolds also got a win by fall at heavyweights over Devin Binger, but again, Brookings, JW here is Mathis is going to work again, but there's a win by fall, and that'll end our match. This one in a time of 3 minutes and 14 seconds. The point I want to make here is I think we can get into a wrestling duel, and whether you're Pierre or, obviously Pierre is going to fill their roster quite a bit. You just kind of wish everybody else was capable of doing that too. But are there too many other sports for kids to get involved in? And does it take away from wrestling or basketball at this time of the year or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that's changed over the last couple of years. I mean, and not even last couple of years. It's kind of been developing into this, but yeah, I mean, I think it's work ethic. I think it's, frustration. I think, again, it's not an easy sport by any means. And the practices are hard, but it's also not easy to go out and just be one-on-one with somebody and take a loss. And it can be very humbling. And I think you've got football programs that are growing, and now you've got off-season workouts and stuff like that, or more focus on those. And I mean, I think there's so many different things that really kind of come into play. But yeah, I mean, we go back to the 80s in a long time ago, obviously, but you'd find B schools where you'd have a full varsity and full JV lineups. Yeah. And I mean, it would be a full on night of wrestling. And yeah, I mean, it's just tough to believe a team like, Brookings or some of these other A programs just aren't able to fill that. Sioux Falls schools is a big one. Absolutely.
Although O'Gorman beat T-Area the other night. If you
really?
Didn't see that.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be a kind of an up and coming program right now with the coaches they got in that room right now.
All right. Well, our varsity duel is complete. There are still some JV matches to finish up here between Pierre and Brookings. But after Mason Mathis gets a win by fall in 3 minutes and 14 seconds over Aiden Van Balen at 165 pounds, your final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard as the Pierre Governors going 2-0 tonight. They beat T-Area by the score of 49-25, and they beat Brookings here 59-21. Brookings wins 4 of the 10 weight classes, with the Governors taking the majority, obviously, in this one. So a good night for the Govs, and we'll take a 3-minute timeout as the final score brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Once again, your post game on the way, sponsored by Family Dental with offices in Pierre and Gettysburg. That begins in 3 minutes. You're listening to Pierre Governor Wrestling.
From the early days of South Dakota statehood through today's digital revolution, BankWest has remained committed to helping customers and communities succeed. BankWest Associates uphold this commitment by developing innovative products, tailoring financial solutions to customer needs, and actively supporting community causes. For a bank committed to helping you and your community prosper, choose BankWest. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
There's an app for everything, including high school sports from the stations of DRG Media Group. Download the DRG News app from the App Store or Google Play. It takes only a moment, so you'll have it to replay this game. See live and archive video of all games. And when you select your favorite station during the live stream, the video will immediately pop up. See Central South Dakota High School sports on your phone or mobile device with the DRG News app. Download it now from the App Store or Google Play.
The team at Family Dental in Pierre and Gettysburg are devoted to spending time with each patient to answer all questions and address any concerns that arise. Family Dental wants all their current and future patients to feel welcome and comfortable and to have the healthiest, best-looking smile possible. They can take care of all your family's dental needs with cleanings, checkups, same-day crowns, and many other dental services. Family Dental in Pierre and Gettysburg, caring for all your family's dental needs. Call Family Dental at 224-7774 today.
Chances are you're overlooking a big energy thief in your home or commercial building. The garage doors. But Overhead Door Company of Pierre can help stop that energy waste with a full range of insulated, weather-tight garage doors. Their residential garage doors can give you insulated performance at an uninsulated price. And their Thermocore insulated steel doors give commercial buildings the energy efficiency they demand today. Find out more. Call Overhead Door Company of Pierre at 1-800-649-9905 and put a stop to the garage door energy thief.
This is Coach Scott Nye from your Pierre Governors and the team at Ranky Gray Wealth Management, where we focus on coaching something just as important, your finances. Everyone needs guidance through life's key financial decisions and challenges, not to mention the opportunity to feel confident that their retirement strategy will help them pursue the lifestyle they've dreamed about. As you're looking for the right team to assist you, we're right up the street and ready to provide you the help that can make all the difference. Contact our Pierre office today by visiting rankygray.com.
Hello, here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
We're back at Riggs High Gym. Varsity wrestling complete tonight as the three duels are done. Pierre defeated T Area 47-25 rather. T Area then beat Brookings 54-30. And the Pierre Governors have defeated Brookings as well, 59-21. And Brian Oakland here with John Wayne Calda. And again, we didn't have a lot of time to chat, I guess, about wrestling in general, but we'll have other matches coming up here, Coach. But overall, I think with a new cast of characters for the Pierre Governors in particular, it is going to be a lot of what we've been talking about, learning on the fly and just improving, like Coach Lewis said in our interview between duels. It's really going to be just getting better every week, and that's going to be the goal. I think the short-term goals for this team, and that's exactly what you got to do with a young group.
Yeah, when it sounds like a reoccurring theme from our talks over the fall, and again, when it comes down to, obviously records are important when we go through, but what can you do at the end of the year? And that's just building up to that point in time. And you're going to take some lumps. We're probably going to have some growing pains when it comes through it. But, again, there's, in my mind, really no better coaching staff that I'd want to put kids in with right now than the guys that we got in the room.
Yeah. Still just some things that you can definitely see improvement. And I imagine with the kids, some of them that are losing some of these matches tonight, some of them are obviously a little outmatched, but some of the mistakes that were made, if they see them on film, it's probably the easiest way to really kind of understand it, because I imagine, I'm one of these people where you can tell me what what to do, tell me what I need to do, but I still need to actually do it before I understand what you've been talking about all this time.
Well, wrestling's just it's a fun sport to coach. One, because you tell a kid to do something, but yet you've got another opponent that's working against that at all times. So it's like it may not work. And what we're seeing right now with a lot of these guys, it is very, very specific. It is one of those things where it's just one little position of your body, one little position of the hand, one little position of the head, the hips, something like that, which can take a match that we maybe lost tonight to eventually, to a victory. So that's the fun part. Now you start kind of dissecting things a little bit, and it's like, okay, instead of this, now we're here. Oh, then things start to click a little bit. But again, you've always got that opponent, and that's what I love about wrestling, because there's always something to contradict what you're trying to do. And so that's what I love about it.
And what a thing of beauty it is to see when everything does click, and you see the fruits of the labor, and you see a kid, a young person especially, reaching their potential, and that's all the rewards. You talk about the difficulty of this sport, but it is one of the most rewarding sports out there at the same time.
And our fans are probably one of the best fans in the state for recognizing that, because it may not even be a win. It may not be a placing at the state tournament. It could just be a situation in a match to where it's like, there, you got it. You might not always win, but it's like, okay, now we're making those steps.
All right, well, here's how it happened. Here as we give you the recap of the Pierre and Brookings match. Once again, Brookings is open in 5 weight classes, including the first one that was part of this duel, 175 pounds. Pierre brought out Kalo Steely to get the win by forfeit, as Brookings did not report. They do have a wrestler we didn't see tonight, James Fitzpatrick, who has a 2-2 record. But obviously this time of the year, you deal with sickness, you deal with injuries, things like that, and you've got to get past all of that along with everything else. So first match that was wrestled then was at 190 pounds. Gabriel Stern, the senior, very talented for Brookings, gets a 13-2 major decision win over Sam Larson of Pierre, and that cut the lead to 6-4. But E.J. Bucci came right back for the second match in a row, gets a win in less than a minute by fall, 54 seconds, defeating Zach Hageman to make it 12-4. And then at 285, it was Dylan Reynolds, the junior from Brookings, pinning Devin Binger of Pierre in a time of 3 minutes even to make it 12-10. But Pierre wins the next 5 classes by 6 points each, or with 5 in 1 with a technical fall to open things up. A pair of forfeits for Gable Urig, the victory at 106. Jacob Mason at 113 to make it 18, and then 24-10, a win by fall for Bodie Minder at 120 pounds, defeating Hunter Mellon in 2 minutes time. 30-10, the score at that point. And then at 126, Walker West wins by technical fall 15-0 over Micah Stern to make it 35-10. Alex Odekoven with another win by fall, 1 minute and 34 seconds over Sawyer Johnson, and Pierre led 41-10. And at 138, Brookings gets a victory with Jacob Milliron, a 15-0 technical fall into the second period, defeating Jeremiah Wirtz. Brookings gets 5 to pull within 41-15. Pierre wins the next 3, all by 6. And Talon Lightfield gets an impressive win by fall, 3 minutes and 31 seconds to go up 47-15 for the Governors. Forfeit victories for Lincoln Schoenhardt at 150. Max Hunsley at 150, Lincoln Schoenhardt at 157. Pierre led 59-15, and then the final match had Mason Mathis of Brookings at 165, defeating Aiden Van Balen in a time of 3 minutes and 14 seconds. And the final 6 to Brookings, but Pierre wins it comfortably, 59-21. Big plays in this one to talk about. Big plays are brought to you by Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre, and we'll discuss after you hear this from Hermanson Endodontics of Pierre.
Quality comes first at Hermanson Endodontics. Dr. Brian Hermanson serves Central South Dakota with specialty root canal treatment. Hermanson Endodontics strives to provide treatment that's not only comfortable, but also provides the best possible outcome. They do this by effective and timely communication with your dentist and preserving as much healthy tooth as possible using state-of-the-art three-dimensional imaging and the dental operating microscope to guide diagnosis and treatment. Ask your dentist if a root canal specialist is right for you. Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre.
Big plays of the game from Hermanson Endodontics in this one. And JW, I'm telling you what I'm really impressed with in this Brookings duel is the youngsters who were suffering losses earlier, but they come back and, obviously different competition, but Bodie Minder, who gets a win by fall in 2 minutes, Talon Lightfield, 3:31. These are immediate turnaround, so to speak, is a big moment for them. But obviously they contributed to this victory as well, and I kind of like those as big plays of the game, so to speak.
No, I agree. Especially when you start looking at that young age, and a loss can mean a lot, and especially when you got to come back out there and wrestle again in the next hour. It's like you got to learn pretty quickly to not dwell on what just happened to you and just continue going. And again, very big wins for those two tonight, and just again, just continuing that progress and just keep getting a little bit better for them.
It reminds me, it was something Coach Matt Thorson told me when we talked keys to success earlier on. We were talking more not necessarily about keys to success for tonight, but keys to success for the early part of the season. And the one thing he mentioned was the biggest key is don't start developing any bad habits early in the season. And, mistakes that are made in the first match of the night by some wrestlers were corrected. Included Bodie Miller and Talon Lightfield here, and I think that's where that all comes together. So I like those as big plays of the game.
Good call.
But you can. Big. How frequently do wrestlers get bad habits early on after maybe not being in the sport for at least a few months?
Yeah, you take a look at it's muscle memory. A lot of our girls have been wrestling all summer, and a lot of the boys have been wrestling all summer as well. But you kind of get in the room, and what's different is you watch a lot of guys will wrestle in the room to beat their opponent in the room, which is the guy that they're obviously on their team. And so then again, it's like, well, you can do something against that kid and beat them, but is that what's going to take to beat a good kid on the mat? And so you can easily develop some bad habits, and again, sometimes it takes a thump and, just that kind of the school hard knocks to understand that, okay, this may work against this kid in the room, but we probably need to shy away from that when we get on the actual wrestling mat.
All right, big plays there from Hermanson Endodontics in Pierre. And, of course, our last order of business is to name our Cowboy Country Stores player of the game. Going to do a girls player of the game because, as I mentioned earlier, we were just going to do one of them tonight, but one for each duel for the boys tonight as well. Let's hear from Cowboy Country Stores, and we'll make those announcements official when we come back with more Pierre Governor Wrestling.
Anytime is a good time for Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. Fill up your tank and your stomach with delicious foods. 5-piece chicken tenders with wedges, just $9.99. Breakfast sandwich with hash browns, $6. Feed the family while on the go with delicious foods. Breakfast starting at 5 a.m. Fresh baked pastries, coffees, regular and breakfast pizzas. Convenience with a capital C. Cowboy Country Stores and Champ's Chicken in Pierre and Fort Pierre.
Cowboy Country Stores players of the game, and we'll start with the girls. And again, Pierre had 4 matches wrestled in that win over T area earlier, 3 of them by pin, and in this one over Brookings there were 5 matches wrestled and 4 wins by fall, but one of them had one girl getting 2 pins tonight, and that was Danny Ringstmeyer, 244 over Lilia Matthews in the T area duel, and also 3 minutes and 40 seconds over Cammie Erickson, who I think certainly for Brookings was the toughest competition other than Lily Toft, who won her match over Jersey Lewis tonight. But I think Ringstmeyer showing that tough wrestlers like Cammie Erickson can be beaten twice in a few days' time, and that's the quality that you get with Danny Ringstmeyer.
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit last year about just the transition of this women's sport right now, and it's just getting better and better and better. And that's what I kind of love to watch in Ringstmeyer is that it wasn't out of position. It wasn't like I don't know, I'm out of control, kind of what I'm doing, and she just went out there and good setups, waited for her time to hit her shots. And like we talked before, it was just one of those, she saw one opening, was able to get her to her back, didn't try to rush anything, never got out of position. And, you could just see where this women's sport is going once these girls really start to buy into it. We use the word methodical during that match. And I think she managed that match very well tonight.
Danny Rinksmeyer is a player of the game. We'll get her a T-shirt noting her accomplishments tonight from Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierre. And, for the Governor boys win over Brookings, we went with the youth movement with Daniel Mason in the first, in his victory over his T-area opponent. I don't know if we're going to do that, although we talked about Bodie Minder and Talon Lightfield. Lightfield is actually playing up. I mean, he's wrestling a junior here tonight, so very impressive win for that. And I don't know. You make the call. Lightfield or what we talked about earlier?
Yeah, I mean, God, it's so tough when you get to this point. Both of them I think we're going to end up seeing, just on that list over and over and over again. But, how can you just, shy away from EJ Bucci and just what he does? And, there you can't take anything away from the kid who's obviously a senior and just in control almost of every match he's going to probably be in this year. And, that's where I'd probably go for tonight.
We started talking about EJ Bucci because we both agree that we kind of owe him a player of the game shirt or two from football season anyways. So EJ Bucci tonight, along with Daniel Mason, the 8th grader for the Governors from the T-area duel, and with Danny Rinksmeyer tonight. They are your players of the game, brought to you by Cowboy Country Stores in Pierre and Fort Pierce. So, Coach, you get the big one coming up. It's the, they call the Lyman thing the Mid-Dakota Monster, but the monster of the season is Rapid City's Invite, and that's this weekend. I mean, there's just I think for some people, they might say that's just too many people.
It's a lot. I mean, when you're changing your weigh-in times, allowing teams to weigh in on a Thursday night for a tournament, that you've got a lot of kids in that tournament. So, just a juggernaut. I mean, when you go there, it's a nice little warm-up for us tonight. But, tomorrow when that whistle blows at, I think it's 11 o'clock out there, I mean, there is so many teams and so many tough wrestlers. It is arguably probably one of the better tournaments that we find in the state of South Dakota, and I would put them up there with the state tournament just because you're getting Wyoming, you get North Dakota, you're getting some Nebraska teams, and, just a tough tournament.
Montana,
yes.
And then I looked, and there's a team called Weiser, and I didn't know where that was. I had to Google it. It is they're from Idaho.
Oh, wow.
And they're not just from Idaho. They're from the Idaho-Oregon border.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
That's how far they're coming.
That's making a commitment. That's you better have a team if you're coming from that far, and I'm guessing they do.
That's how big this thing is. And the Rapid City Invite. That's Friday and Saturday. Best of luck to Pierre. T-area will head out there as well. Brookings gets the weekend off before they duel Watertown in the week ahead. And Brookings and T-area both going to Madison for an invite on Saturday. Of course, the Governors will have more dueling coming up as they have Aberdeen Central here Tuesday night. That's our next wrestling broadcast. We'll also, I think right now, planning to go to Harrisburg, have the Governors against the Tigers on Thursday next week. But, of course, our next broadcast will have high school basketball starting up tomorrow, Pierre, against Rapid City Stevens tomorrow night. And then 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, the Govs will host Rapid City Central, while the girls head out to Rapid City, as if there weren't enough people in that town already with all those wrestling teams as well. But Pierre and Aberdeen Central will be playing girls basketball against Stevens and Central. The girls' games will be on KGFX AM, and we'll have the boys' games here on River 92.7. And for all of those on the road, remember, slow down, stay alert, don't veer for deer, and also remember seatbelts save lives. Buckle up. We've all got some place to be, especially with the holidays coming up. Coach Calda, it's a pleasure to have you back.
Yeah, pleasure to be back. Yeah, excited for this season.
We'll see you Tuesday night when we've got Aberdeen Central here in town as well. For William Wilson in studio, and also for Caleb Brozick, who's been live streaming all of the wrestling and all three duels tonight. You can rewatch at drgnews.com and the River 92.7 page. Until we meet with you again, I'm Brian Oakland. That's tomorrow night, 6:30 pregame with the Pierre Governors hosting the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. High school basketball getting underway. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we wish you a very happy rest of this Thursday. By the way, we do have high school basketball, Miller and Stanley County on KPLO 94.5 FM going on right now. We'll see you tomorrow night. Governor Sports is on your official home of the Governors, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
This presentation of Pierre Governor Athletics was proudly presented by Bank West, Beck Motors, Dakota Storm Roofing, Superior Concrete, Live Ticket, Overhead Door, Ranky Gray Wealth Management, Avera Orthopedics, Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, Kruger Contract.